Right. That's what I'm saying. Shalom, 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 Israel. First off, giving all honor and praises to the Most High and to His Son, Yahushua. We battle axe of the Most High coming to you with another Sabbath day class. We're going to go into a Q&A for brothers and sisters that are watching. We're going to a Q&A, so if you have any questions or anything, please put it in the chat. Brothers and sisters that are in class, put it in there. To even just to open up. Any brothers, what seal are we at? What seal are we in?
The fifth. The fifth.
The fifth. We said the fourth. And like we say, you want to make sure that you pull precepts with these things as well. Do any brother know what a seals are located? What are scriptures on the seals located?
Revelation.
Let's go there real quick. Revelation chapter 6. Revelation chapter, we start with 5, but technically 6. So we know that we are in the fifth seal because of this. Revelation chapter 6, verse 12. Certain precepts I expect brothers to be on, because like we said, we don't be touching on nothing just super deep, and we're not going to go over nothing that we had and went over with brothers and sisters. You get to read that out.
The book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 12. And I beheld when he opened the sixth seal.
When he opened the sixth seal. Read on.
And lo, there was a great earthquake.
So John the Revelator is describing something. It says there was a great earthquake. Read on up.
And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair.
And
the moon became as blood.
So the things that John the Revelator is describing is destruction. Read on up.
Verse 13, and the stars of heaven fell into the earth.
It says, and the stars of heaven fell into the earth. Now, this goes into two understandings. It goes into the satellites that's in outer space, and it also goes into what? Thermonuclear weapons. Because when a thermonuclear weapon goes off, it lights up like a what? Like a star. So we see, has this happened yet? No. So this is letting our people know that what? We're in the fifth seal. So we right there on the brink, brothers and sisters, man. Right there. It's so close. Hey, like we said, we seeing things transpire more and more. Seeing with Taiwan. We seeing with the 10 common markets that are trying to isolate themselves from America. We see these things transpiring, brothers and sisters. The thing is, like we say, what manner of persons are you to be in these last days? In all holy convocations, conversations, in all your actions, whether you're at work, whether you're here amongst brothers and sisters of the congregations or amongst your family members that's not in this truth. We have to learn to take this truth very, very seriously because it's going to get harder and harder, man. Read on.
And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casted her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind.
Read on now.
And the heaven departed as a scroll.
As a what?
As a scroll.
Because when a nuclear weapon goes off, it's the big what? Mushroom cloud. And it looks like a scroll being unrolled or being folded in on itself. So what John the Revelator is describing, he's describing what? Thermonuclear fallout. And we know, do they have this capability to do these things? Yes. So we got to take these things serious. Like we always say, the nuclear weapons that they have today are thousands of times more powerful than Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So the Most High God is not playing with our people, brothers and sisters, man. We have to know the seasons that we're in. We have to be able to discern these times in these last days. Read on.
And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together.
Read on out.
And every mountain and island were moved out of their places.
Now, what weapon has this capability to be able to move mountains and islands out of their places? A nuke. I mean, it's only one word, only one weapon. Read on out.
Verse 15. And the kings of the earth and the great men.
Meaning the leaders, the rulers. Read on.
And the rich men.
And the who?
And the rich men.
The Bilderbergs, the Rothschilds, the Walmarts. Read on up.
And the chief captains.
Meaning going into men of the armies. Read on.
And the mighty men.
Read on.
And every bondman and every freeman hid themselves in the den.
In the what?
In the den.
Read on up.
And in the rocks of the mountains.
What is this going into today?
The bunkers.
The bunkers. And we know they constantly have shows calling what? Doomsday Preppers. You know, people are literally taking action thinking they're going to survive these things, man. Hey, Most High God is not playing. If he wants to get you, guess what? You are going to be God, man. You are going to be God. Read on up.
And in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us.
Do what?
Fall on us.
So they rather face the judgments from the rocks falling on them than to see Christ coming out that sky, man. Read on up.
And hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne.
That sitteth on the what?
That sitteth on the throne.
Read on up.
And from the wrath of the Lamb.
And from Christ. They don't want to see that day. The elites know what's going on. It's only our people, Negroes and Latinos, that take this Bible as a game. You know, this is no game, brothers and sisters, man. This is serious business. You know, and the Most High God is going to continue to do what? To jack us up in these times to guess what? To prepare our spirits for what's about to transpire. Let's go to the book of Hebrews, chapter 12. See any questions on that?
Yeah, they want to, Yako wants you to talk about the slothfulness.
The who? The slothfulness?
Sloth, yeah.
Hebrews chapter 12 and verse...
Think about I was planning on doing the whole prayer.
Verse 5. On the slothfulness. When you get there, read that out.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you, as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord.
Read that again, out.
My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord.
So we can't despise the chastening of the Most High God. You know, not every time things happen to us is because of judgment. Not every time, but like we always say, only you know if it's from judgment or chastisement. Only you know. And it goes into what? Secret sins. You know, the Most High God knows what you're doing. He knows if you are not taking this truth serious, or if you have secret sins and you're not confiding in leadership to get on track, or to get a grips with the sins that you struggle with. Read on up.
Nor faint when thou art rebuked of him.
Read that again, up.
Nor faint when thou art rebuked of him.
So we can't faint when the Most High God brings rebuke on us. The rebuking is for what? It's for correction. You know, that's what these things are for, brothers and sisters, man. So we have to take those things and what? Be able to grow as a better Israelite man and a better Israelite woman. Brothers got some on there? Y'all go ahead. Y'all want to add to it. Read on up.
Verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth.
Read that again, up.
For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth.
For whom the Lord loveth, the Most High God is chastity. Meaning, what? The Most High God loves the Israelites. He loves Jacob. Don't give a damn about the other nations. That's why they're basically living it up while we're literally catching hell. Even for brothers and sisters that are in the truth, especially for us that's in the truth, because what? We know better. You know, so we're catching hell out here. You know, barely making enough to make ends meet. You know, dealing with wicked family members. You know, wicked people at the job. Wickedness just all over us. Go ahead, Doc.
And to go into what Yaakov was asking about, let's drop down to verse 14 and 15. Stay in the same chapter. Because this is about being slothful. Like a slothful works, a slothful attitude towards the truth. And the Bible constantly tells us. You know, what you say? Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
So like I said, you know, if you're not getting chastised by the Most High, you ain't going through some things. Like shit, a lot of shit, man. I'm talking about right now, boy, Israel going through it, man. Getting calls from everybody everywhere. Man, you know what they did? Like, nah, hell, nah. And, you know, it's the chastising of the Lord, but it said we can't be fighting that situation. But drop down to verse 14. And we'll talk about this slothfulness right quick, a little slothfulness.
Hebrews 12, chapter 12, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Follow peace with all men in holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord.
Without no man shall see the Lord. Right, read on.
Looking diligently.
Looking what?
Looking diligently.
That's the opposite of sloth. Diligent. That is the opposite of sloth. We have to be diligent. That's what the Bible is saying. You want to see the coming of the Lord. You want to see that great day, that salvation. You cannot be slothful, you have to look diligently, man. What does the word diligently mean? Kind of like wholeheartedly, persistent, at your best, right? Read on.
Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of God.
And this is the reason why I'm telling you have to be diligent. Because if you're slothful, you'll fall into that are you going into what? Ecclesiastes 8:11. Because sinners wasn't done speedily, right? You'll fall into that grace because now you feel like, oh, well, I done got away with this so many times. Now I done fell from the grace because I'm back into my old man. I'm back into them sins. Read on.
Lest any root of bitterness
Lest any root of bitterness do what?
springing up
What will it do?
trouble you.
Any root of bitterness will trouble you. That old man going back into them old ways, right? Any wind of doctrine. This is why you can't be slothful. Because any root of, and the key word in that is root. We have root of sin in us. Why? Because we was in this world too. So the root of that sin is in us. But in order for us to try to beat that and take that out, cut them weeds out of here, we have to start being diligent and stop being slothful. The minute you become slothful, the minute you what? Lack. Now you get, I say this all the time, consistent. Right? That's a good word. We love to get complacent in this thing. We got to be consistent and being diligent because we know as a nation we could be complacent like a mud, man. For real. But any root of bitterness will come into you if you slothful. Read on.
Lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled.
And then guess what? Now you're looking into what? Now you going off and guess what? Now your actions are reverting to other people's actions now. All it takes is one small root of weeds to grow in that area, and now guess what? Weeds springing up everywhere, right?
Can't see the grass no more.
You can't see the grass, and that weed started right here, and instead of you going and knocking that weed out, go on and get your little weed eater and getting that out of here now, that grew all over this place. We don't understand that our actions affect our nation. We don't understand that, man.
You finished?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go. I need two of them on this slothfulness. Let's go to Judges 18:9, and after that, I want Proverbs 12:24. Because it's something our people always struggle with. It's not nothing new that we just be like this. It's not nothing new. In our black community, we got some lazy people. Y'all see it all the time. You can go right out there right now, boy. I'm talking about some of the most healthiest men in the world be up there with a sign at the front, at the store. You be like, man, that man can work. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He ain't got no high blood pressure. He ain't got nothing. But boy, he got a nice sign. For what? Go to work. Go ahead.
The book of Judges, chapter 18, verse 9. And they said, arise, that we may go up against them.
Mm-hmm.
For we have seen the land, and behold, it is very good.
It's very good.
And are ye still? Be not slothful.
Hold on, what does that say?
And are ye still?
Are you still? Why are you just sitting there? You said the land was good. The Most High gave you what was good. Why we hesitating to get up to the new moon? Why we hesitating to do the things the Most High God told us to do? We seen it is good. We seen that's the instruction. Go ahead.
And are ye still? Be not slothful.
Be not what? Be not what?
Be not slothful to go.
Be not slothful to go. Don't wait. We always gotta wait. Boy, especially, here, boy. That's why we gotta even tell the times wrong in order to get people here on time. We want you at 5:30, we gotta tell you, hey, be there at 12:30. Just to get black folks to move around, you gotta lie to them 4 hours early. And that can't matter. I gotta make me an interest. I gotta wait till everybody to get there. I gotta show hey, hold on. Then when everybody ignore you when you get in anyway, quit doing that slothfulness. Go ahead.
Be not slothful to go and to enter to possess the land.
Let's go to Proverbs 12:24. Because he was talking about diligence. And he said, what is the opposite of diligent? Read. Watch the Bible do the same. It's going to tell you. Yeah.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule.
You do the what?
The hand of the diligent shall bear rule.
The one that's take the stand and do what the Most High God has always taught us to do and told us to do, that's who's going to take rule. Go ahead.
The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute.
What did our forefathers get to? They became slothful, comfortable in their situation. And guess what? They do what? What do we do today? Pay tribute, don't we? Because we slothful with it. We don't even want to even try to start our own business. We be thinking about it. We be got great thoughts. We be thinking like a son of a gun. We can think like a mother. But when it comes to doing, yeah, I'm going to get on that tomorrow. Then I'm going to get on it next week. Next week become a year. Year become 5 years. And you ain't started nothing, man. You still paying tribute. You still running up there going to your boss, asking, can you get off for the new moon? Then mad because he said no. But you ain't did nothing. That's slothfulness in this truth, man. We need to get to where we doing what the Most High God has told us to do and how he told us to do it. Ain't nobody coming in with a bomb. We got people at the door. Everybody got to look at the door every time you see a shower.
Let me not be the dead horse, but back up what the brothers are saying. Give me Psalm 94, and we're going to start at verse 11. Because when you think about it, slothfulness brings forth the chastisement of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people be in their mindset, and they be like, man, I'm not even doing nothing. That's the problem. You're not doing nothing. Or you're not doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to bring this topic up because this is a heavy topic in Israel, like the brother bring it out. But go ahead and read that. Psalm 94, starting at verse 11 for it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 11. The Lord knoweth the thoughts of man.
Notice what the Bible is saying. The Lord knoweth the thoughts of man. And think about it. The Most High know you better than you know yourself. A lot of times we could be in a docile state of mind and thinking that we doing what we supposed to be doing. But what does the Bible say? Read that again.
The Lord knoweth the thoughts of man.
He know your thoughts. He know why you teaching. He know why you come to class. If it's vain and vanity, he know that. Well, they say you can fool man, but you can't fool the Most High. Well, watch this. Read on.
That they are vanity.
That they are what?
That they are vanity.
They all have no benefit to you. A lot of times we get caught up in emotion. You trying to work hard because you want a better going next year. You trying to be that captain. You trying to be that deacon. But you're not doing it in the right mindset. But watch it. Read on.
Blessed is the man whom thou chastenest.
Hold up. Read that again. The Bible said what?
Blessed is the man whom thou chastenest.
It's a blessing to be chastised by the Lord. We have to embrace that, Israel, because a lot of times it's better to be chastised than to be destroyed. So it say, read it again.
Blessed is the man whom thou chastenest, O Lord.
Come on now.
And teaches him out of thy law.
And in the process of being chastised, being taught out the law, being corrected by the law, figure out what you're doing wrong. What's that? Examine yourself daily. So that in your chastisement is where your fast should be coming in. This is where you're examining yourself. Not the leadership, not the congregation, examining yourself in the process of your chastisement. That's all I got on there.
I know, brother Yaakov, go ahead and read that.
Brother Yaakov said, Shalom, Captain, can you go into the destruction of Babylon the Great?
Yeah, a lot of times when we talking about the destruction of Babylon, we know that the Most High God uses similitudes for that. What scriptures brothers got for the destruction of Babylon? Babylon making reference to what? Who? America. Brothers ain't got to be shy, man. Call that thing out, man. Brothers don't sound too confident, man. What precepts will brothers go to, man? What you got?
137.
We can get that one. Go there right quick. But you know, that's a good one. That's the one that you add on to it. You know, some of the main ones. Yeah. Read that right quick out.
The book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
The children of who?
The children of Edom.
So notice, throughout the scriptures, the Most High God is always using the prophets to pronounce and bring great judgment against the nation of Edom. So where do Christianity get this notion that all nations can be saved? You see Jeremiah going in on Esau. You see Isaiah going in. You see Ezekiel going in. See John the Revelator. You see all these prophets going in, but now everybody can be saved. They got a whole book of Obadiah attributed especially to them. I mean, it makes no sense, man. Christianity, our people is off their rockers, man. Just basic reading. It's nothing deep about it, man. So you should be wondering, like, who are these Edomites, man? If we know that there is no end of all the people, that let you know that what? It's a nation of people that are still on the planet Earth, man. Read on up.
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
So the Most High God is constantly telling us to remember the O Lord, the nation of Edom. Read on.
In the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, raise it.
In the day of Jerusalem, when the Babylonians came in to destroy us, raise it means what? Destroy it, destroy it.
That's right.
Read on up.
Even to the foundation thereof.
Read on up.
O daughter of Babylon.
O daughter of Babylon. So the Most High God compares Esau to Babylon. Because what do we have in America today? Confusion. Babylon means what? Confusion. You got young men want to be young women and vice versa. You can go in any bathroom that you want to go into. You can be any damn thing that you want to. You can come to work as a tree. I mean, this stuff is madness, man. Read on.
O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed.
Who ought, hey, that thing is crazy though, ain't it? Who ought to be destroyed, meaning the Most High God has prophesied that, guess what, they're going to be destroyed.
And I mean, it's going to happen.
That's right.
It hasn't happened yet, so you can't try to put a past tense on that. Who are to be destroyed, I mean, they are going to be destroyed at some point in time, right? Go ahead, now.
Read on.
Who ought to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee, as thou hast served us.
Read on now.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone.
And I know that's hard for a lot of people, but if you remember what we just read, as thou hast served us. So a point in time, they did that to our children. So guess what? That's the vengeance and that's the judgment from the Almighty Most High. Now, we're not commanded to do that right now. We got to wait on the Lord, brothers and sisters. But guess what? That's his judgment. And that thing going to have to come out, man. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 51. Precepts prophesying the destruction of Babylon. Christians, they can't see it because for one, they don't keep the commandments. And for two, they don't understand that the scriptures have double meanings in the Bible. So when you literally are reading it in context, yes, in context, it can go into the history, but on a deeper level, it's always a deeper message that the Most High God is trying to convey to the children of Israel.
And that's what be going on in Christianity, man. They don't want to, they do not really, just like the white man don't want Yahushua coming back.
That's right.
They don't want him to come back because to them, they live in a nice, good life, the good old American life, and they don't want that interrupted. I got children, I'm trying to teach them, and they look at this, they conform to everything of this world. So they don't want that, man. That's something they don't want. They try to act like they run their mouth like, oh, I can't. No, they don't. As soon as that sky crack, I can promise you, the church gonna be the most, them the ones gonna run and hide. Because all of them know they in there doing it, they ain't doing it right. That's when they gonna be looking, and we shouldn't listen to them Israelites. But go ahead,
And it's going to be too late in that day.
Mhm.
You get there, read that out. Yeah.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that raise up against me.
That rise up.
Oh, so like that rise up against me, a destroying wind.
A destroying what?
A destroying wind.
A destroying wind. Read on out.
And will send unto Babylon banners that shall fan her,
Mm-hmm.
and shall empty her land.
Read on out.
For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about.
Round the hoop.
Round about.
Meaning what? It's going to be all nations coming at Babylon round about. Right now we're seeing this, like you say, even with the melting pot. What you got?
What are fanners?
Fanners is like what you fan and make the no. It on a deeper level is going into, like we say, other nations coming in to make trouble and to stir up things to bring about the destruction of America. You know, because what do they call this place? They call this place the Great Melting Pot. You know, they ain't doing that for no reason. But like we said, when you peel back some of the layers, you see many oppressive laws against other nations that's here, mainly aimed at the Israelites. You know, so the Most High God, even with all these other nations, with them robbing the wealth of the nations, going into Iran, going into Iraq, what do you think Abid and them do when they come over here? Like we say, they ain't coming over here for no reason, man. A lot of them, hey, bring, Hakeem, you have been activated. So guess what? These things, this stuff is gonna pop off
from the inside, and like the dollar bill is about to crash. It's all that kind of stuff going on. It's about the brick done got together. I don't know if y'all keep up with the world news, but if y'all don't, y'all need to be looking at what's really going on. Your dollar bill, they finna throw that in the trash. If you got dollars in your pocket, the only thing you're gonna be able to do with them is wipe your butt with them, because they're not gonna be worth nothing in a minute. They finna go to digital currency. Did y'all know that?
The
The crypto, they already grounded it out, and they finna make it a Fed, what is it called, Fed up or whatever that is, a digital currency. This is going down, man. The BRIC got together right now. Iran is giving China military drones to go in and attack Taiwan, which, when that happens, United States must, not like they got to do in Ukraine when they wasn't a part. Taiwan is a part. So United States must go and defend Taiwan. So that China and America war is going down. And they already done got Russia, the BRIC. I don't know if y'all know this. Russia, you got Brazil, and now they got, in fact, Turkey is part of the UN that is about to back out of the UN and go with the BRIC and this NATO and this allies. And that's what that valley is getting ready for too. Because why do you think Euphrates is drying up? Why do you think the Most High drying Euphrates up? It ain't gonna be no problem for these armies to come together now.
That's right.
They walk straight to each other. Now instead of battling a dangerous river, it's dried up. It's pure land. And when they get this is going down, y'all. It's happening.
The military is already in Taiwan training the civilians to fight.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
They don't have enough.
They don't have enough. And it's funny because you remember when Russia was before they invaded Ukraine, they had 175,000 troops on the border saying, we just practicing. Remember? Then they did what? Invaded. China got 200,000 troops sitting right there and practicing with Iran, saying we just practicing. Same thing, okay. So what do you think they finna do? They finna invade. That's the same way it happened. Look, man, we gotta get our stuff together, man. If you ain't got it together, it's time to get it together, man.
That's right. Read verse 6.
Verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Read that again,
Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Now, this was a doctrine I know we heard for new brothers and new sisters. Some elders taught that they literally thought it meant leave America. But word doesn't. America influences everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You have brothers and sisters talking about go to Africa. Hell, Ham don't like us over there. Can't speak the languages. Hey, it'll be hard as hell for you. They might try to eat you over there.
They the same one turn us in last time. You think they ain't gonna turn us in again?
Exactly.
Here they are. They'll turn us right in again.
Read on up.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul.
How do we deliver every man his soul? By what? Keeping the commandments, having faith in Christ. Read on up.
Be not cut off in her iniquity.
Don't be cut off in her iniquity, because the Most High God is going to judge this place. Read on up.
For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance.
Jump down to verse 13. Keep going.
Verse 17.
Mm-hmm. No, 13.
Verse 13. Oh, thou that dwellest upon many waters.
Oh, that dwellest upon many waters. Now, this is going literal and spiritually, because waters is literally going into the waters within what? Having ships. If brothers and sisters look these things up, America has some of the most advanced warships.
Mm-hmm.
out there. I don't think no nation has more Air Force carriers than America. They in everybody's seas. And the seas is also making reference to what, brothers?
People.
Nations. What precept is?
Isaiah 13:16.
Let's get there right quick. Show the precept showing that it's also going into nations, meaning what? America is amongst all nations, man. Everybody's getting tired of America. They over there in Taiwan. They over there by the South China Sea. They all over these places, man.
17 as well.
Now, yeah. When you get there, read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 17, verse 12.
This is the precept showing you that waters is also going into nations. Read that.
Isaiah 17 and 12. Woe to the multitude of many people, which make a noise, like the noise of the sea.
That's why the Most High God compares the nations to seas, because they make a noise like the rushing waves. Constantly what? Aiming and trying to find ways to keep the children of Israel in sin or at the bottom. Read on up.
And to the rushing of nations that make a rushing, like the rushing of mighty water.
Like the rushing of what up?
Like the rushing of mighty water.
Let's go back.
Yeah, the thing about that is that's what you think you got all these constitutional rights and all this stuff, but they don't go by a constitution. They go by what? Maritime law, the law of water, the law of the seas. Those are nations that's coming together like that. But go ahead,
Let's go back to Jeremiah 51 and 13. Just want to hit on some key points. Jeremiah chapter 51 is a heavy, heavy chapter. Well, brothers and sisters, y'all go home and read that. I know we done did a class where we literally done broke most of this chapter down. Go back and read these things and see the comparisons that the Most High God is using to compare Esau to Babylon. You get there, read that out.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters,
Uh-huh.
abundant in treasure.
Is not America one of the most richest, most powerful nations? How did they get that? They got that by what? Robbing the wealth of the other nations. That war in Iraq, that damn war in the Gulf, hey, for opium, for gold, for oil. They're not just going to these countries for no reason, brothers and sisters. Even with the thing in Haiti, they're always looking to do what? Like how we would say it, America always trying to find a lick. Something to come up off of. Always, man. Whether they trafficking children, whether they going into, like we say, black market things. It's a list of things that they're constantly after. Read on up.
Abundant in treasure.
Uh-huh.
Thine end is come.
Read that again.
Thine end is come.
Thy end is come. Read on up.
And the measure of thy covetousness.
And the measure of thy covetousness. Because America covets every damn thing. They have such a covetous spirit, they even tried to what? Covet the moon for themselves. Claim the moon.
You can buy property on the moon right now.
Man, that's crazy. Man, who the hell gave you the moon? Who the hell gave you the moon, man? That's something that brothers and sisters got to meditate on, man. You got something, Captain Nah? Go ahead, huh?
No, go ahead. You finished it?
Read on.
Verse 14. The Lord of hosts has sworn by himself.
Hey, this is how bad they done pissed the Most High God off, man. He's sworn by himself. Read on, huh?
Saying, surely I will fill thee with men.
With what?
With men.
Read on, huh?
As with caterpillars.
So the Most High God is showing you another parable and another metaphor that he's comparing men to. A caterpillar is a insect. Damn, y'all. Slide back. Ezekiel, yeah, slide back. He already know better for his ass. I mean, his butt. But a caterpillar is an insect that eats the tree from the inside. So we see these things even with these other nations. They're not just coming over here for nothing. They taking the wealth that they mainly get from our people, and then what they doing with that money? Sending it back to their country. Even with these athletes, these white women that get with these black athletes, they taking that money, they giving it back to their damn people, man. Our people's just so dumb, they just cannot see these things, man. Read on.
Surely I will fill thee with men, as with caterpillars.
Read on out.
And they shall lift up a shout against thee.
And they shall lift up a shout against thee. Meaning what? That time to come when they know it's on to come against Babylon. That's that shout. Go ahead, Mac.
And that's just also talking about, somebody being inside.
That's right.
An inside job. Let's go Revelations 18:10. know y'all had to get to that one.
Oh yeah, we going back there.
Read when they go.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
He said, now, man, standing afar off, when everybody starts seeing this place going up in smoke, it's like, at last. We're going to be like, at last, it's about time, man. Go ahead. But it said, in 1 hour. See, we think we're going to have it a whole lot of time. Some of y'all, I know y'all wait till at 1 hour. So I can run up to the store, grab me a sandwich, come back and repent. And I'll be good. And that's what the Christians talk about. Remember I was telling y'all about the cartoon where you're standing on something that's falling and you're going to step out the last second? That's what they looking at. Oh, well, at least I got an hour. I'll be able to step off that falling thing, be right on the planet without damaging myself. That's how they look at it. Delusional. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her.
The what?
The merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over
Remember,
her.
that's what he was talking about. They got ships, they got everything. Every commerce run off of what? Ships, water. When you check, China got more stuff over here than we got in America. They got their name on more stuff than we got. I mean, when I was young, everything used to have made in USA. I don't see you can't find nothing made in the USA no more. Nothing. You can't even find American steel made in the USA. It's all gone, but that's how it is. It's run off of water. That's why I keep bringing that up. Y'all gotta understand, when you start looking into these laws of water and start looking at what they be doing, you start realizing this is the same game plan they had in Psalms 83. They not on the same. We up here thinking, like I said, like people say, some play checkers or some are playing chess. And we think we doing it because we playing chess. Well, guess what game they playing? Monopoly. At its extreme. We not even on the same game board they on. But like I said, but the Most High is though. And we now learning because the Bible shows us everything. Go ahead.
And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her.
The merchants, the other nations, when we had the men of the sea, they gonna mourn. Why are they gonna mourn?
They can't make no money.
There you go. They getting paid right now off of us too. To this day. Everybody be talking about, well, if they bless us, there ain't none of them blessing us. Have we got any of all this money coming all over? Have we got any of that? In fact, Mandela came from overseas, came to America, got some money and did what? Took it back to his people. Didn't give us nothing. He passed through the hood. You can't leave out the airport in D.C. and not miss the ghetto. He seen the struggle we was going through in America. Go ahead.
For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Uh-huh.
The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones.
Remember he was talking about that's all, they covered everything? Look, there's some of the things they covered. Look, go ahead.
And of pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of uri, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men.
Mm-hmm.
And fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee.
Everything. We covered, man, America covered everything. But guess what? All of that stuff they covered is about to be over. Right, go ahead.
And all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all.
It ain't gonna be none of this good stuff in America. I know some of y'all still living it up in America, thinking it's all hunky-dory. Hey, go get that nice car. All you bought was a melting pot. That's all you bought. Go ahead.
Verse 15, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing.
They ain't coming no more. They looking at it like, man, ooh. And it's about to get like that pretty soon. Because they know when they get in the war, what's finna happen in these wars? Why would I ship my stuff over there when China finna push the button? Why would I deal with America when Russia is coming the other way? That's a waste of money. I can't make that money no more. I don't know how this finna turn out. Go ahead.
And saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen.
America was clothed in fine linen. Like they said, they live deliciously. Go out. Just walk around, just drive around outside of the hood. Sometimes y'all gotta leave the hood sometime to see how deliciously they really live. Read.
And purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches.
1 hour. Go ahead.
It's come to naught.
That's all it take for that missile to come from China to go up in that atmosphere and come straight boom.
That's why they've been on the hunt for what? For supersonic ICBMs. It's like a missile within the missile. So the missile takes it up, then they have another missile that detaches and shoots it down very fast.
Because once you gotta think about it, the reason they gotta go in the atmosphere, once you get in the atmosphere, when you come off the ground, you get in the atmosphere. The thing about it, when you go back, find your target, what happens when you come back through the atmosphere? Gravity shuts you. Wham! That's all it takes. That's why what's name was there? North Korea, when they were doing their testing, they were just trying to get a bomb to the outer space, past that ozone. That's all they needed. Once they got that, that's when they saying, now we can hit the United States now. Because see, they can glide right over there. As soon as they come through, it's coming straight down. Immediately. I mean, triple the miles an hour it used to take off. Go ahead. Is where we at? Yeah, finish that.
For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster, and all the company in ships, in sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city?
What city is like unto America, that it is gone in 1 hour? Think about it. America, y'all, it's hard to think about it. America, thriving. Everything going. People getting up, running to McDonald's right now. They going to the mall. They finna go on vacation. They doing all. It's finna be gone in 1 hour. What you thought you knew about the place, everything finna be gone. Your life gonna change. My life gonna change. America, Babylon is gonna change in 1 hour. Go ahead. That's all I had on that one.
Drop down to 21. I mean, you gotta read.
Yeah, you keep going that whole thing. Go ahead. Let's go.
Read a little bit. Just take
You gotta
it
go
apart.
Yeah, you gotta read 19 and 21.
Go ahead.
Verse 19. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas,
Finally.
that great city wherein were made rich all that bad ships in the sea.
All that had ship.
Oh, all that had bad ships in the sea.
Nah, ain't no
Man,
bad.
where Oh.
Do it. Oh, pray. I know you got that 16 left.
It says all that had.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate.
Read 21.
Verse 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall
With what?
With violence.
This ain't gonna be no pretty. This ain't gonna be no nice. It's gonna be nice when Babylon get destroyed. With violence, really.
Shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all.
Well, they say the kingdom of heaven suffer violence.
That's right.
And the violence take about force. It's going to be some violence got to go on to get the kingdom. You can't get no kingdom just by walking up and say, hey, I got next. When you finish? You almost finished?
That's right.
No, kingdom, it's violence got to go down when somebody take the kingdom. You can't just get a kingdom here. Ain't nobody who gon' man, Negro don't want to give you $2. You think they finna give you a kingdom?
Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse no Captain Jeremiah
I
just
got a
said this.
question real quick.
Hold up real quick. Let's go to this. Is it pertaining to this real quick? What you got?
Okay, in 21 it's saying, and mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone. What stone is he talking about? What kind of stone?
Yeah, that's real.
Let's see.
And mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea.
That's real.
No,
No, that's real.
no,
They took an asteroid.
Why would you say
Remember
that?
the context of it. Like we say, what's
great
going to be
stone.
used to destroy
Bomb.
America? These, and even on that, like we say, you have to understand, and this is where discernment does play a part.
Right.
We know that an angel don't need to literally take a bomb and throw it. Like we said, this Most High God is using the angels to do what? Work on the spirits and the minds of the elites to get them to push them buttons.
to make them. That's right.
Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 27. I know Captain Jeremiah just said
Yeah,
this.
it's talking about
Could be a space station too.
no, it's talking about a great city, Babylon, being thrown down. How is he saying he's gonna throw it down all this time? He's been telling you with nuclear weapons.
Huh.
So that's where the context is still staying the same thing. But what we in?
Jeremiah chapter
51.
51 and verse 27. This is another precept for caterpillars that I was bringing out. Read this out.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 27.
Uh-huh.
Set ye up a standard in the land.
The Bible is the standard. Read on up.
Blow the trumpet.
Do what?
Blow the trumpet.
And that's what we're doing. When we're setting up the standard, we're blowing the trumpet. The trumpet is also the Bible. When we're prophesying destruction against these nations and against our people if they don't wake up and repent. Read on.
Blow the trumpet among the nations.
Read on up.
Prepare the nations against her.
Do what up?
Prepare the nations against her.
And that's what we do when we bringing out Revelation chapter 17, letting them know that guess what? America is going to be destroyed by what? By the 10 common markets, by NATO. A lot of people don't believe us until they start to see these things unfold on CNN, on Al Jazeera. Now they're saying these Israelites are right. Read on.
Call together against her the kingdoms of Iraq.
Ararat.
Ararat.
Is modern day what? Turkey. So he's calling them what? The Turks. Read on up.
Many in Ashkenaz.
Read that again.
Many in Ashkenaz.
Read on up.
Appoint a captain against her.
Read on.
Cause her horses to come up as the rough caterpillar.
And these are the caterpillars that the Most High God is filling the nations with, man.
Rough.
We can go all day on these things. I want to
Rough
get
caterpillar.
jump up to verse 25.
That's what he said. He's gonna fill them up with men, like as with men.
That's
These
right.
caterpillars that's coming from the inside. They're gonna be thinking the threat is overseas. The threat is right here in America already.
That's right.
They got supercells set up already. America's not the only clever people around this world, man.
That's right.
These other nations, like what is Arabs? He said, what did he tell them? Wow, man.
That's right.
Nigga, they don't like nobody.
We say how wild they'll strap C4 to
No,
their body.
God. Shoot.
Allah Akbar, everybody, man. Read verse 25.
Verse 25. Jeremiah 51 and 25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain.
Mountains are compared to what, brothers? Governments and kingdoms. Read on up.
Saith the Lord, which destroys all the earth.
Uh-huh.
And I will stretch out my hand upon thee.
Which destroys all the earth. You got to be able to pull key phrases out of there. This is how you know it's not talking about ancient Babylon. Because what? This side of the land wasn't even inhabited yet. Read on up.
Which destroys all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon thee.
Uh-huh.
And roll thee down from the rocks.
Read on up.
And will make thee a burnt mountain.
A what?
A burnt mountain.
A what, brothers?
A burnt mountain.
Read on up.
And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner,
Uh-huh.
nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate.
Jump down to verse 29.
Verse 29.
Hold up, read that last part, Salaki.
And but thou shalt be desolate forever.
For what?
Forever.
Now, what is modern day Babylon today? The real one.
Oh, I read that.
Iran and Iraq. Ain't people still living over there?
Right.
So this lets you know that this is talking about America because it says forever. Another key point. Jump down to verse 29.
Verse 29, in the land shall tremble in sorrow.
Read on,
For every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon.
Meaning what? Sending the other nations to turn themselves one against another and sending nukes over here. Read on,
To make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant.
Without what?
Without an inhabitant.
Now this is another precept. Give me Isaiah 34 and 10. Without inhabitant. These are key words to show you that this is not talking about ancient Babylon. This is talking about America, because people are still living over there, even after it was destroyed in 538 BC when the Persian and Medes rose up against them. All right. What you got,
Cankerworm is just like the caterpillar, right? When it's in the scripture,
Yeah.
it eats from within.
Kangaroo, yeah, it's what the fire. It's what like when Easter. Man, what's that picture?
Like Joel 2:25.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Uh-huh.
Kangaroo, when it eats it up.
Yeah.
When you get there, read that out.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And it shall not be quenched, night nor day.
Read on,
The smoke thereof shall go up forever.
For what?
Forever.
So we don't see no smoke in ancient Babylon, man. Just letting you know that it's making reference to who? To America. Read on,
From generation to generation, it shall lie waste.
It shall lie what?
It shall lie waste.
Because of what? Because of thermonuclear waste. Even, hey, they still had similar words, brothers and sisters. Just have to be able to put the what? The pieces of the puzzle together. Read on,
None shall pass through it forever and ever.
Forever, ever. So we see, guess what? That this is making reference to what? To America.
We can go. I want to go to 2 Edges 11 right quick. Let's go to 2 Edges 11 and 40. We'll start at 39. We can go on Babylon being destroyed all day. So. Praise. 2 Edges
They got these
11 and start at 39.
The book of 2 Edges, chapter 11, verse 39.
Yeah.
Are not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my word,
Read.
that the end of their times might come through them.
Thou remainest of the four beasts. Read on.
And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past.
Now, who was this four beasts going to?
Rome in America.
Rome and America, right? Said it overcame all the other beasts. Now, all the other captives, they have done a number that was so great, it won't compare to them, right? Read on.
It had power over the world with great fearfulness.
And America has the whole world, man. You saw that this captivity has the whole world. Well, they did. Now they trying to get back at them right now. This is the reason why. Read on.
And over the whole compass of the earth, which with much wicked oppression.
With much wicked oppression. Read.
And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
And that's what they're doing. They dwelt upon the earth with deceit. Read on.
For the earth hast thou not judged with truth.
Because there's no truth in this earth, man, right? And we know that's coming from the deceiver, man, from this wicked kingdom. Read on.
For thou hast afflicted the meek.
This is why. This is why Babylon gonna be destroyed, man. This is why this Roman American Empire has to be destroyed. Because they have afflicted the meek. Who is the meek? Israel, man. Read on.
Thou hast hurt the peaceable.
We are the peaceable, man. You know, we ain't about that. We ain't trying to. We just trying to chill. What they say about Jacob? We what? Plain men. In our tents. Let us be. Read on.
Thou hast loved liars.
They what?
Thou hast loved liars.
We know that this gotta be Esau, man. They love liars, man. Read.
And destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit.
And they destroyed the dwelling of them that brought forth fruit. So every time we try to bring forth fruit to our people, what they try to do? They try to destroy it. They try to bring it down. Well, we're going to pass homosexual laws now. Well, we're going to do this and say, well, you can smoke this now. You don't got to. They just try to take away from the good fruit that we try to possess. Read.
So like,
and it's cast down.
Yeah, it has cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm.
And cast down the walls and did this no harm. Read on.
Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come upon unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty.
And we know this is the most prideful land that we're in right now. This captivity. Read on.
Verse 44. The highest also looked upon the proud tongue, and behold, They are ended.
They are what?
They are ended.
Read on.
And his abominations are fulfilled.
And guess what? We waiting on the Most High to send Christ back. He said they sins have reached up to the heavens, right? It's being fulfilled. Read.
And therefore appear no more, thou eagle.
And it said, therefore appears thou no more eagle. Because now we get into Babylon, America, which you know they sign is the eagle, right? We have other nations really the sign of eagles, but we talk about America right now because it said the fourth that overcame all the other beasts, right? Read on.
Nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers.
No, the wicked feathers. So none of the counterpoints that they got that's playing with them, right? They're associates, basically. Read on.
Nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws.
Read on.
Nor all thy vain body.
46 is the point.
That all the earth may be refreshed.
And this is the reason, man. The earth is gonna be refreshed, man, when the Most High get them out of here, man. Because what? We looking for truth in the earth, right? Read on.
And may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment in mercy of him that made her.
And this is why we trying to get back into getting that truth back into the world. So for what they did, they definitely got to go through this, man. This is Babylon being destroyed as well.
Nigga, they done messed everything up, man. You can't. Water ain't no good no more. Air ain't no good no more. Right. Air. They done messed that up. How you mess up air?
And like I said, all the earth gonna be refreshed because guess what? When we are in rulership, man, the world gonna be a way better place. When we judge this earth with God's laws, man, everybody gonna be like, hey, yeah, these the real leaders right here, man. They should have been in rulership, man, right? That's all I got.
They done changed, messed the food up. You can't eat. You can't do nothing no more.
Yeah, Babylon's up, man. Y'all want to answer that next question? I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
What you got?
And if Susie got any questions, y'all can ask questions, Susie. Y'all good. It's good if y'all don't have none either.
Like, I know the lake of fire in the east, you know, Brother Zechariah and everything. But you know how we was reading it, you know how it was saying Babylon ain't gonna be inhabited forever and ever. So even once they start rebuilding everything, you know, Esau back to work and everything, are we still gonna be able to dwell in this land again?
You see, this land
No.
ever
It won't be
gonna
So
inhabited.
no more.
Think about it.
Okay.
For thousands of years, nobody was even messing with this side of this land over there, you know, for a while. But then, like I said, this part of the world was the new world. Remember, everybody. Then when all that stuff go down, we're not gonna have 7.7 billion people on the planet. It's not gonna be as populated as it is now. So we're gonna be operating back over there. You ain't gonna want to come over there because even from the outside, we gonna still see the smoke. These 7 far off, we still gonna see this place steady burning forever. It's gonna be laid to waste, dragon. Unless you want to come over here and get towed by one of them Komodo dragons.
So yeah, let's get some more on that. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 13, verse 21. Go to the scripture. We got you the Marco Windfall.
Yeah, you
Say
niggas
this.
want Marco Windfall.
Got you. Isaiah chapter 13. This precepts with Isaiah 34 and verse 10. Brothers, I'm telling y'all, make sure y'all write these precepts down, man. Brothers, be all at the count. Brother, give me this precept. Brother, you ain't even write it down, bro. Write them precepts down. Let me say, man, this thing is a weapon if brothers properly load their bullets right, man. You loading your bullets right, man. Hey, you got enough ammunition, to just, like rapid fire, man. You get there, read this,
13, 19.
verse 13 and 21.
21. The book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 21.
Start at verse 19. Let's get a little bit more context.
Verse 19.
Yeah, my God, brother.
And Isaiah 13 and 19.
Uh-huh.
In Babylon, the glory of kingdom,
Read on, Doc.
the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
So we know that Babylon is no historical text where it was saying that it was hit by meteorites. We know that was reserved for Sodom and Gomorrah. Now we know these meteorites this time is what? Nukes. Read on, Doc.
And it shall never be inhabited.
Read that again, Doc.
And it shall never be inhabited.
Read on, Doc.
So like neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation.
Read on out.
Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there.
So Abib them not setting up their corner stores. They're not setting up their gas stations. No. Read on.
Neither shall the shepherds make their folds there.
Read on out.
But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there.
Uh-huh.
In their houses shall be full of doleful creatures.
Read on out.
And owls shall dwell there.
Read on.
And satyrs shall dance
Let's
there.
go into types of deers. Read on.
And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses.
Uh-huh.
And dragons in their pleasant places.
Like what Captain Maccabee said, going into lizards and snakes. Read on out.
In her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged.
So America won't be inhabited anymore. Sis, what was your question, sis? Who had a question over there? Sister?
Oh, yeah, good. I want to know, can you break down Matthew 25?
Let's go there right quick. Which one?
About the 10 virgins and the oils.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, I know I did a class on this a lot of months ago. A lot. You get that, read that right quick. Verse 1.
Book of St. Matthew, chapter 25, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins,
Read on out.
which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom.
So we know what the lamps is. The lamps is going into what? The commandments. Going into the understanding of the scriptures. And we know, like we said, who is the bridegroom? The bridegroom.
Christ.
Christ. Bridegroom. The bridegroom is Christ. Let's get that right quick. What
Israel
verse
is
is
the
that?
bride.
2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 2. Remember when we read, and that's what I'm going to start going into, volume 1, volume 2, going into the parables of Christ. We're going to just start going through those things and breaking down the parables that Christ, when you read those things more and more, just always different comparisons to the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. And the children of Israel.
That's right.
That's what I say. The more you start reading the Bible, the more you get to understanding it. Whenever you see in a situation, one thing the Most High does, He know black folks too. He know us like the son of God. You got to repeat it to us over and over and over. And that's what the Most High is going through this whole Bible. He's repeating the same thing. Hey, this is going to happen. Hey, I said this is going to happen.
That's right, just in parables.
Yeah, I said it's going to happen. And he's telling you over and over the same things. Go ahead.
Read that out.
Book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
For I am jealous over you with a godly jealousy.
Read on out.
For I have espoused you to one husband,
Read on out.
that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Christ.
So now we see who the virgin is, and we see who the bridegroom is. It's going into Christ. Let's go back. For the bride. For the bridegroom.
St. Matthew chapter 25, verse 1 from the top.
Uh-huh.
Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom.
Read on out.
And 5 of them were wise.
And 5 of them was wise. What makes you wise, Brother Ray? I'm calling on brothers, catching brothers slipping. What makes us wise?
Come on, Ryan.
That's right. What precept? Psalms chapter 19, verse 7. Let's get that right quick. It says 5 were wise, meaning what? 5 were keeping the commandments.
Book of Psalms chapter 19, verse 7.
If we going too fast, just raise your hand. Read that out.
The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul.
Uh-huh.
The testimony of the Lord is sure,
Read on.
making wise the simple.
Making wise the simple. So when we keep God's commandments, that's what makes us wise. Look at what brothers was versus in the world. Brothers know about geography now. Brothers know about languages. Brothers know about things that you wouldn't think that you know about now. Even some of the sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You know about these things now.
History.
That's right. Real history.
Yeah.
Can give you dates, times, and timelines and literally put these things together. These things have made us wise as a nation of people. Let's go back.
St. Matthew chapter 25, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
And 5 of them were wise,
Read on now.
and 5 were foolish.
So 5 were wise and 5 were foolish. What's the precept for foolish?
Proverbs 21.
Let's get that right quick. So 5 were keeping the commandments and 5 were not keeping the commandments. Let's see what makes us foolish. 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 13.
Book of 1 Samuel, chapter 13, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And Samuel said to Saul, Thou hast done foolishly.
Thou hast done what?
Thou hast done foolishly.
Read on now.
Thou hast not kept the commandment of the Lord thy God.
So when we're not keeping the commandments of the Most High God, that's what makes us a foolish nation. So this is what Christ is breaking down to us. Let's go back.
St. Matthew, chapter 25, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
And 5 of them were wise,
5 were keeping the commandments. Read on.
and 5 were foolish.
And 5 were not keeping the commandments. Read on.
They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
So what does the oil represent? The understanding. So the 5 foolish, they took the commandments, but they didn't take with them the understanding. Like it says in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, with all thy getting what? Get a good understanding. Like we said, how do we get a good understanding? By what? By keeping the commandments. Give me Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 20.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 20. There is a treasure to be desired in oil in the dwelling of the wise.
In the dwelling of the who?
In the dwelling of the wise.
So, like we said, if you're wise, you want to always take with you that what? That understanding. Like I said, it's just not enough for you to just to read the scriptures, but you have to really get into this thing. Really study the Bible, go precept upon precept, and make sure that you have a good understanding. That's why we always asking brothers and sisters questions to test if they're learning or if they're studying or not. Like I said, you can see that because there's certain precepts that we go over all the time. You know, brothers ain't knowing. Yeah, brother, you probably studied this week or last week or the week before. Certain precepts I expect brothers to know. Because even just like with us being out there at camp, we go over the same precepts a lot of the time. Rarely do we break down the 12 feathers out there. Brother, break down the 12 feathers, brother. Brother, you keeping the commandments? No. Well, why do we need to go into that? It's just that simple. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 25.
That right there sums up that almost the whole parable.
Yeah, it does.
Book of St. Matthew, chapter 25, verse 3.
I know we just want to hit on key points so that you can just build a general understanding. Read that up.
They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
Took no understanding with them. Read on.
But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps.
So the wise took understanding with them, meaning what? They had a pattern of good works. They had a pattern of good study habits. Read on.
While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him.
And this is what? When Christ went back to the Father, this is what it means when he slumbered. He's gone to the Father. And guess what? When he read that part again up,
While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered.
they
and
all
slept.
slumber, being slothful, not taking his truth serious, not keeping the commandments. That's what it means to slumber in this truth, man. It goes into being slothful as well. You got something? Go ahead.
Yeah, because remember the disciples when he was telling them, hey, watch for an hour.
That's right.
I got business to take care of. And that 1 hour, what did they do? Fall asleep. And he came down and remember your house was last. Wait a minute, man. I just asked y'all to watch for 1 hour. And guess who crept up?
Police.
There you go.
Read that again up.
While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him.
Hey, go ye out. That's when what? Christ steps back on the scene. Now it's time for you, hey, go ye meet him. Let's see if you've been putting in the work. Let's see if you've been keeping your oils and your lamps lit with understanding. Read on.
Verse 7. Then all those virgins arose and trim their lamps.
And did what?
And trim their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil.
And they trying to get some of the wise more. Read on up.
For our lamps are gone out.
For their lamps have gone out. You see a lot of brothers and sisters in this truth. Like we say, they candles what? Burn out. You get complacent in the truth. You don't take it as serious as you used to. You feel like you know everything. I don't have to go over those precepts. You know, each time you read a precept, you can get more and more out of things, man. Each time you read the Bible, you see things that you never saw before, man. So you never get complacent in this truth, brothers and sisters.
I just, what was that, last week, when we was out there, and precepts that I didn't go back over, that I hadn't went back over in a long while, man, I felt so stupid, because I was like, man, these were some basic precepts that I couldn't even remember. And that's something I'm like, man, I need to make sure I can go back even over the things that you think you already know.
That's right.
Go over them again, and again, and again, to where it's automatic. But I felt so embarrassed. I played it off. Y'all didn't even know it. Y'all wasn't out there. The other one wasn't out there yet, but this one we had just started. But I felt like, man, I tripped out. I was like, man, I need to go back over these simple precepts.
What's the precept for lamp? Got that?
Oh no.
Let's get that right quick.
I mean, I went there a whole lot of men. Yeah, sound like Chinese people.
Psalms 119, verse 105. Let's get that.
Proverbs 6:23.
Yeah, that's right.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet.
Thy word, meaning the understanding of the scriptures. The scriptures itself is a lamp unto our feet, meaning what? It lights our path for us. That's why a lot of times you hear Christians saying that what? We ain't got to keep the law. Well, if we ain't got to keep the law, how the hell you going to make it to the kingdom? What path are you taking to get to the kingdom? That makes no sense. Read on.
And a light unto my path.
And we need this Bible. We need the word as a lamp and as a light to lighten our way. This way is total darkness. Class Captain Maccabees brought out. Total darkness, man. We don't know up from down, left from right, man. Let's go back to Matthew. So it's just a general overall. You understand that, sis?
Yes.
Book of St. Matthew, chapter 25, verse 9. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves.
And do what?
And buy for yourselves.
Meaning what? Go to the source. Like we say, go to what? And this is where brothers and sisters have the rubber meets the road. For you individualites, have to get amongst the congregation, have to get up under leadership. This is the order that the Most High God has set up, man, for us to be able to understand the Bible. You got something, Captain? No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Any other questions? What you have, Mama Ryan?
You said raise your hand, but you're going too fast.
Oh, okay. What you got, Al?
I'll put some down the more precept on this Proverbs 4:27, but that's not.
You said 21 and 10. Yeah, 21 and 10. 21 and 20. Thanks. Questions, sisters, questions, brothers, real quick before we go back to the chat.
Yeah, I want to.
Go ahead, Al.
No. Go ahead. I just want to get one of them off the chat. King there just said something.
No, hold up. We got to go back up. You know, we've been going through a lot of precepts.
Brother been waiting for a while.
For a while, Brother DeMarco Windfall. Let's get that.
He said, Shalom, can you explain the 3 days and 3 nights when he arises from the grave? Was it Sunday morning or what?
Let's go to that. Any brother know the precept? We kind of touched on this in the Passover class. That's what. Say it again.
Yeah, we're going to go to John 20, so I'm going to go there too. But
Yeah, none of that makes sense. Don't even, that's one of them, you already know Christianity is stupid and don't know how to do math. They don't know how to do scriptures. They don't know how to do the commandments. So
go to John 19,
we know they wrong.
Because we're going to go for it. But I did a class, man. Jeremiah did a class.
Yeah, yeah, you already know.
Yeah, John.
You already know. I'll praise that.
Record all this.
3 days and 3 nights. Matthew chapter 12, verse 40. J-O-N-A-H. And that's one of the main things that you start with. Like you say, you literally just take the words of Christ and apply it. Let's see what he says here. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 40.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 12, verse 40. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
This is the thing, like how we went over doing Passover. 3 days and 3 nights. So if they say Good Friday and Sunday, how many days and how many nights is that? That's right. It's only 3 days and 2 nights. And this is where, like we say, Easter is not Passover. That's not Passover. That's going into the, what is that going into? Ishtar, Ashtar. All going into the same thing. The god of what? Fertility. Let me say, we know ain't no damn bunnies laying eggs. People got to come up out of that nonsense. Just use common sense. Just common sense. But we know, hey, a lot of times common sense, hey, it ain't common. Let's go to Matthew chapter 20. Matthew. We were saying Jonah, but that's the scripture that I want. Thanks. 27 and what?
63.
Yeah, we get that. What'd you say, What'd you say? 46. Read 45 right quick.
26:45.
Yeah.
27:45.
27. The book of Matthew, chapter 27 and 45.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 27, verse 45. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour.
So what is the 6th hour? 12 what? 12 noon. Until the 9th hour is going into what time?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. So we see that it was the eclipse from 12 noon to 3 o'clock. Read on up.
Verse 46. And about the 9th hour, Yahushua cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli,
Lama sabachthana. Lama sabachthana.
Lama sabachthana. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Why hast thou forsaken me?
Read on up.
Some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, this man calleth for Elijah.
Jump down to verse 50.
Verse 50. Yahushua, when he cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost.
So we know that Christ died about what time? By 3 or 4 o'clock. Read on up.
Verse 51. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and rocks rent, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of saints.
Let's get to the point. Jump down to verse 57.
Verse 57. When the even was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Yahushua's disciple.
Read on up.
Verse 58. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Yahushua. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered.
Read on.
And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth.
Jump down to verse 62.
Verse 62. Now the next day that followed. Now the next day that followed the day of preparation.
Hold up. Read that part again.
Now the next day that followed the day of preparation.
Brothers and sisters, what is the day of the preparation?
Friday.
That's right. Read that again.
Now the day that followed the day of preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate.
Read on up.
Saying, Sir, we remember that deceiver said, while he was yet alive.
Hey, they gonna pay for that. Calling Christ a deceiver, man. Wicked as hell, man. Read on up.
While he was yet alive, after 3 days, I will rise again.
Read on up.
Command therefore that a scepter be made sure until the third day,
Uh-huh.
lest the disciples come by night and steal him away, and say unto the people, He is risen from the dead.
Read on now.
So the last era shall be worse than the first.
Jump down to verse 28 and 1.
Chapter 28, verse 1.
Because this is where the confusion comes in from brothers and sisters. Read this out.
In the end of the Sabbath,
In the end of the Sabbath. Read on out.
as it began to dawn towards the first day of the week,
Read on out.
came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the scepter.
Uh-huh.
And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven, and came and rolled back the stone from the door, and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow.
Uh-huh. Read on.
And for fear of him, the keepers did shake, and became as dead men.
So they'll take that and not read on and just take that understanding like Christ rose on Sunday.
But the end of the Sabbath is what? Sunday. So when they got there, was he there?
And that's
He was already gone.
That's right. And we finna keep reading to prove that. Read on.
Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
And the angel answered and said unto the women, Fear not ye,
Do what?
fear not ye.
Read on now.
For I know that ye seek Yahweh, which was crucified. He is not here.
He is not what?
He is not here.
He is not what?
He is not
And
here.
what day was that?
That's right.
That was Sunday.
That's right.
He was not there on Sunday. He was already. What did he say? He is not here. What?
For he is risen.
He was already gone.
That's right. Read on up.
As he said, come see the place where the Lord lay.
So we see that Christ was what? He rose on the what? On the Sabbath. He was not there on the first day of the week, brothers and sisters. Brother Darker, I hope you see that. What you say, Aqua?
Finish that 3 days, 3 nights thing.
No, and this is the thing, remember. And you can use it to do what? You can go backwards with it. You know, that's a lot of times what I do. So Wednesday night. Wednesday night to Thursday night is what? 1 day. Thursday night to Friday night is what? 2 days. Friday night to what? To Saturday night is what?
3 days. And that makes sense him doing it.
Math.
It makes sense him rising up on the Sabbath. It makes sense.
They told us that.
And so you say he rose on the Sabbath, not the Sunday.
Not Sunday.
He was already
Let's
gone.
read it again because
We just read it.
he was already gone.
Sunday.
Read it again for brothers and sisters.
Verse 5. Well, you want to start at 1 again?
Yeah.
28
St.
Matthew chapter 28, verse 1. In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn towards the first day of the week.
So we know it's the what? It's the first day of the week. You got that, Mama Ra? It's the first day of the week.
And the Sabbath is end. You gotta make
Beginning
sure.
of the dawn.
At the
End of
That's
end
right.
of it.
That's right. I'm glad Ox said that. Emphasize that. End of the
At the
Sabbath.
end.
Read on up.
Came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the scepter.
To see the what?
To see the scepter.
Now jump down to verse 6.
Verse 6.
Verse 5.
Yeah, verse 5. And the angel answered and said unto the women, Fear not ye,
Uh-huh.
for I know that ye seek Yahweh, which was crucified.
Read on.
He is not here.
He is not what?
He is not here.
On what day?
Sunday.
Sunday. He was not there. So he had already risen on what day? On the Sabbath. Read on.
For he is risen. As he said, come, see the place where the Lord lay.
So he's just showing them the place. Hey, his body is not even there. So we see that Christ rose on the Sabbath. He did not rise on the first day of the week. Do brothers and sisters see that? It's all right if you don't. We can go back over it again. We just keep it simple. Read verse 1 and then jump down to verse 5 and 6. What you have, Sister Jensen?
Okay, so on verse 52, going back to when the graves were open
Uh-huh.
and they arose, like they came back to life
That's right.
and began to keep
Yeah, that's
on
right.
living.
We just went over that.
It's
the other day.
I gotta show that thing. It's a book called the Varney. The Varney is a place in Romania where they literally had where our people lived during that time when they painted things. They literally had that painting. So yes, you would have your uncle wake up and come knock on the door. Let me in. That's how powerful that event was. Thanks, for lack of better word.
And not only that, it was evidence to the people, you know, because a lot of people wouldn't believe. Now, you imagine they come back up and this happened. Now, when you hear the story about Christ, you be like, if you didn't believe at that time, you like, man, God Dang it. Yeah. But then again, our people like that. We don't believe even after stuff like that. And we seen the whole sea open up.
That's right. And the precept with that is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 12. The dead in Christ shall what? Shall rise first. So they literally did that thing, man. That's how powerful that event was, man. You can't imagine the glory. All that power, hey, not only did it raise up Christ, but it rose up other people in graves too, man. That thing was powerful, man.
So when the sun set, when the sun set, the day is Sunday, right?
Yes. When the sun set, it was Sunday. So that's how we know Christ rose that Sabbath day.
So that precept was
First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 12. The dead in Christ.
Verse 16.
Yes,
16.
Thanks.
What was 5?
First Thessalonians.
Let's get it right quick. All right? Let's just get it. Look at that. We finna get it.
The book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 4, verse 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God. And the dead in Christ shall rise first.
And the dead in Christ shall rise first. So the same thing is going to happen, like what they call the so-called rapture. Hey, it's going to happen that same exact way. Any other questions out there before we go back? What did brother?
Oh,
go ahead.
so like I know God did declare that same with the soul thing. So like when these people came back, their souls came back down.
Yeah, they souls. Most High God sent their souls back down. That's how powerful that event was.
So it probably
Because like you said,
That's right.
Your body goes back to the Most High. So as soon as he wasn't, he just put him right back. Hey, here you go. Imagine that, boy. You just come right up out of there. What's up, man? Like, wait a minute, we just buried you.
For real. I know Brother Jacob was at 2 Maccabees chapter 15, verse 8.
What I said, he's going more. What's the
Second Maccabees 15 and verse 8. You get there, read that out.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15, verse 8. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven, and now to expect the victory and aid which should come unto them from the Almighty.
So what is this going into, brothers? Y'all gotta have them. Huh?
Repeat it again.
Oh, the destruction of Nicanor?
The destruction of Nicanor. That was just asking, what is this going into? Brothers and sisters, y'all write that title right there, Destruction of Nicanor, so y'all can have a reference. Write that title right there, Destruction of Nicanor. I wrote it above chapter 15. This is what this is going into. So this is what? Him steady comforting our people to show them that guess what? We can defeat these enemy with less men. This is how the Most High God truly shows his power, brothers and sisters. That's why we constantly do what? Read these things. So when what? We thinking all odds against us, we know the Most High God is there for our help, man. That's how he has it set up, because that does what? That builds up brothers and sisters' faith, man.
Right.
That's what it's supposed to do, build your faith up.
And the same thing he has us do when we go to these streets and doing, man, we don't fear these heathens when they come up. We ain't nothing. That's one thing he did give us, the spirit of fear. And he said, hey, we don't fear them just like he was telling them back then. Same thing he's telling us that's today. We quit fearing them. The stuff that's finna happen, don't fear. The heathen that's finna come up, they finna persecute you. Don't fear them.
And this
what it says, be faithful unto that.
That's right. And this is where we know a lot of times, yes, fear is real, but the Most High God didn't what? He didn't give us the spirit of fear.
That's right.
And you learn to control those emotions by what? By staying in the scriptures. Meditating on the scriptures. Like I say, going to accounts where our foremothers and forefathers were in great tribulation and they called upon the Most High God, and he was what? He was always there for them. Read on out.
2 Maccabees chapter 15, verse 9. And so comforting them out of the law, and the prophets, and with all putting them in mind of the battles that they won afore.
And that's the thing that you got to remember. Think about the battles that you had won aforetime when the Most High God was helping. When you was in the spirit, meditating on the precepts. Read on out.
He made them more cheerful.
He made them what?
He made them more cheerful.
And that should make brothers and sisters more cheerful. How many accounts can brothers and sisters attest to where all the odds were against you? Car just down and out, but some kind of way you found the money to be able to pay that thing. Or a brother just fixed it without no damn money. Oh, don't worry about it, sis. Don't worry about it, brother. I got you. Think about these things, man. Read on up.
Verse 10. And when he had stirred up their minds, he gave them their charge.
What's the precept for that?
2 Peter.
All praise, man, brothers in the spirit. When he stirred up their pure minds, how do our minds be stirred up? That's right. By way of remembrance. Remembering the scriptures. Read on up. 2 Peter 3 and 1.
Verse 10 from the top. And when he had stirred up their minds, he gave them their charge, showing them therewithal the falsehood of the heathen and the breach of oaths. Thus he armed every one of them, not so much with defense of shields and spears, as with comfortable and good words.
Not so much as with spears and weapons of war, but what comfortable words with the scriptures. Read on up.
And besides that, he told them a dream worthy to be believed, as if it had been so indeed, which did not a little rejoice in them. In this, verse 12, and this was his vision.
Read on now.
That Ananias, who had been high priest, a virtuous and good man, reverent in conversation, gentle in condition,
read on,
well spoken also, and exercised from a child in all points of virtue, holding up his hands, prayed for the whole body of the Jews.
Read on now.
This done in like manner, there appeared a man with gray hairs, exceeding glorious, who was of a wonderful and excellent majesty. Then Ananias answered, saying, this is a lover of the brethren.
Read on now.
Who prayed much for the people and for the holy city. To wit, Jeremiah is the prophet of God.
So the Most High God was showing them what? He was showing them Jeremiah the prophet, man. A fervent brother, man, that had a prayer for his people and for his nation, man. This is the attributes that we should take on as a nation of people, man. Jeremiah was a righteous brother, man, a mighty brother in this truth, man. What other questions we got? Sisters and brothers, y'all got some questions? Let's see. Kingdom Parts. Question: if Esau is the end, does that mean no nation will be able to defeat Esau? That's right. No nation. Only one nation can come and take down this beast. And Most High God is literally reserving them for him.
And the thing about it, these other nations gonna take him out anyway. I mean, so that's how they're gonna end Esau's world. So we'll take power. The other nation's gonna be the one to take out Esau. So Most High does his thing, however he do it, you know.
Hey, 2nd Ezra 15.
They gonna fight, but America, hey, Americans ain't no punks. They got some weapons, man. They got a lot of weapons. That's why Christ in the end, when we go to Isaiah 63, he's gonna tread the winepress alone. Get that out. I mean, go ahead.
You want 63 first? We can go to
No.
2nd Ezra 15. You start at 20.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 20. Behold, saith God, I will call together.
He said what?
I will call together.
Who will?
Oh, behold, saith God, I will call together.
So you see right there, he said, I will call together, right? That's the only nation gonna be able to beat them is us with our God.
That's right.
And our king, right? Read on.
I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south.
Y'all know where's the rising of the sun? China. That's right. Read on.
From the east and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them.
So like Mac B just said, he's gonna do that where they're gonna get together and they gonna knock each other head off, right?
Yeah, and then they're gonna talk about it. Hey, let's stop fighting and fight what's coming out that sky.
Let's get that. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. You know we got to bring it down. 2nd Ezra chapter 13. Second Ezra chapter 13 and verse 1. Brothers should be well equipped with these precepts. Sisters too. Read this out.
Book of Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 1. And it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof.
Read on, Doc.
And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven.
That man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Going into who? Going into Christ. So you see people talking about Christ ain't in the Apocrypha. They dumb as hell. Read on, Doc.
Verse 3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
Letting you know that Christ is what? Coming out of the sky, out of the chariot. He's looking down at the nations, man. And it says all things trembled that were under him. Read on up.
Verse 4. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice.
That did what?
That heard his voice.
Because we know that the word is like a what? Like a fire. Read on up.
As the earth filleth when it filleth the fire.
Read on up.
And after this I beheld, and lo, there were gathered together a multitude of men out of number.
Out of what?
Out of number.
Read on up.
From the four winds of heaven.
From the north, east, west, and south. Read on.
To subdue the man that came out of the sea.
That came, when it talks about came out of the sea, what is it making reference to? The heavens. That's right, the sky. Read on.
But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself with a great mountain, and he flew upon it.
And did what
And flew up upon it.
And did what
And flew up upon it.
Read on up.
But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven.
Read on.
And I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid.
Was what?
Were so afraid.
Read on.
And yet there is fight.
Because guess what? Who can resist the will of the Most High God?
Right.
They scared. You know you got to be scared as hell. You
Scared
seeing
to fight.
a chariot, a UFO come out the sky. Man, nobody want to see that, man. No, man, it make you scared watching the movies here. Let alone seeing that thing in real life.
But you know how Americans, they think they're going to be brave too. What is that movie? Independence Day? They just thought no, it's a one. What's that other one?
That's a good one though. Independence Day.
Yeah. But the other one that was where they was walking on the ground and remember they was gathering them up. The spaceship was gathering them up. His son. Okay, yeah, and his the blood. I'm going to go fight, and ran over there and got blown up as soon as it started. But that's how these people gonna be scared. But Most High gonna make them do it anyway. Right. Because Most High getting the glory out of this.
That's right. Let's go to Romans chapter 9 right quick. Romans 9 and verse 17. Verse 16.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 16. So then, it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy.
Read on now.
For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up.
Just like the Most High God raised up Pharaoh, they was the superpower during the ancient times. The same way he rose up Esau. That's why he's giving them all these technological advances, all this weaponry. Read on up.
In the same way he hardened Pharaoh's heart to make him fight, the same way he gonna make them fight.
Read on up.
Even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee.
In who?
In thee.
Read on up.
And that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
Because just imagine, when the Most High God sent Christ to take down this nation, they gonna get in order. When they sin, guess what? Christ done destroyed them without labor, with the law. Meaning it's not even be hard for Christ to do these things, man. Nations gonna get down or they gonna lay down, man.
All right.
One of the two, man. They gonna easily get in line once they see America, the top nation, being taken down so easy. Read on up.
Verse 18. Therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy.
Read on up.
And whom he will, he hardened.
And that's what he's doing in 2nd Ezra chapter 13. He basically hardened their hearts to do what? Make them fight against him.
Yeah, because I mean, the United States, They gonna be ready to go to war, but only one person going to war.
Right.
And that's your house. Ain't no, it ain't finna be this long drawn out. Let's go down. All that. It's just gonna be. I'm just finna go down here and whoop everybody I need to whoop. It ain't gonna be. They gonna be lined up ready to go to war, but it ain't gonna be like. It's not gonna take a long time. You just gotta go do what you gotta do. I'll be back, and he gone.
Let's
That's
get to
it.
Isaiah 63 and 1. And notice one of my favorite precepts, man.
He gonna do it somebody ain't gonna know what he done did.
Mm-mm.
No. Dude spazzed out and killed 18 people and you know what he done did. He done spazzed out with Frank gonna say 63 and 1. I spazzed out on him, man. Look to the left, to the right now. Didn't see nobody. It was me.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 63, verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra?
So this is Isaiah seeing Christ prophetically. Read on up.
This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in greatness of his strength.
Uh-huh.
I that spake in righteousness, mighty to save.
So like we always say, this is a question and response. This is Christ answering. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Read on up.
Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel?
So Isaiah's asking Christ, why are you red? Why are your clothes red? Read on.
And thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine.
And why you look like you've been stomping out grapes? Read on.
I have trodden the winepress alone.
The wine press is going into what? The people and the world. Read on up.
And of the people there was none with me.
Read on up.
For I would tread them in mine anger.
And of the people, meaning what? I didn't need the Israelites' help for this, man.
Mm-hmm.
Of the people, there was none with me, man.
And think about it, he been waiting a long time to go back and get these people for a minute, boy. So that's why he said, I did this alone. Not long I've been waiting to get these folks back. So he's like, I did this alone. Look. Go ahead.
And of the people there was none with me. For I would tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury.
Mm-hmm.
And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments.
So now we know that what's my point? The red apparent, the wine is what?
Mm-hmm.
Is actually blood.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that was prophesied in Genesis chapter 49, verse 11. A lot of people, like we say, you just read through those things and don't see the parables in it. They had been spoken about this, man. And we say, so how can all nations be saved? Most High God, even from the beginning of time, was already prophesying the destruction of Esau. Read on out.
And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments.
So Christ is not coming back to pass out flowers, man. Read on out.
And I will stain all my raiment.
Read on out.
For the day of vengeance is in my heart.
Read on out.
And the year of my redeemed is come.
Because Israelites are the redeemed of the Most High God.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question. How do we know Job is an Israelite? I know me.
Because he was able to throw a prayer and sacrifice for his children's sin.
That's a good one. What you say, Al? He was saying what up? Oh, not just because you black doesn't make you Israelite, because Hamites are black. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the book of Job. So we see this right here. This is what made me think of this, verse 4. For the day of my vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. See if you're in the spirit, huh? Yep.
That's Job what?
Job chapter 19 and verse 25. And what's the point? What's the key? Regeneration. That's the key right there. Brothers in the spirit, Brother Ezekiel, Brother Donovan, read this out.
The book of Job, chapter 19, verse 25. For I know that my Redeemer liveth.
Read that again.
For I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth.
Like how we just read in Isaiah, the Redeemer is who? Is Christ. Read on up.
And though after my skin worms destroyed this body,
His physical body, by him being in the grave, and his body just deteriorating. Read on.
destroyed this body, yet in my flesh shall I see God.
Because what? The Most High God was going to send Job's spirit back down to the earth. Read on.
Whom I shall see for myself,
Read that again, Op.
whom I shall see for myself.
Read on, Op.
In mine eye shall behold,
Uh-huh.
and not another.
Read on, Op.
Though my reins be consumed within me.
So this shows that on a deeper level. Like we said, brothers and sisters can receive it, they will. Go ahead, Op.
How is it going into
Regeneration.
Yeah, how is it going
Do you understand about regeneration, Op?
kind of sort of?
Regeneration is where the Most High God sends Israelite spirits back to the earth every 3 or 4 generations. So that's why we have what we call deja vu. Seem like you done been here before? That's because you have. You just don't know who you are. Let's go to Ecclesiastes right quick. I don't know. I was hoping you tell me.
Remember John the Baptist? When John the Baptist was, when Yahweh Shah had to tell him
1 and 9.
that he was Elijah.
When you get there, read this, Op.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that has been, it is that which shall be.
It says the thing that shall be, it is the thing,
The thing that had been.
the thing that had been, it is the thing that shall be. Read on.
And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
Let's see what the thing is that he's talking about. What's the precept, brother?
6:10.
Let's go there.
Them bars right there.
Let's see what the thing is that had been.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 10. That which has been is named already, and it is known that it is man.
Read that again, Op.
That which has been is named already, and it is known that it is man.
It is who?
It is man.
It is man, the thing that had been, meaning the Most High God sends our spirits back and forth on the planet Earth. You understand that, Op? Read on.
Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he.
So you can't contend with the Most High. Read on.
Verse 11.
Oh, no, this is on. So, go ahead, Op.
Nicanor.
Mhm.
Does that represent something today, or when you talk about the destruction of Nicanor?
Yeah, that's a high holy day. I think you missed that one too, brother. That's a high holy day. I'm talking about Brother Book.
Oh, okay. Oh, you missed that class.
Missed
You
that.
missed that day.
High holy day. Oh, you missed
But I
that high
know
holy day?
I said, I think.
Yeah, that was
I think
Purim
you
and
did
the
too.
destruction of Nicanor.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
even
missed
see
it.
that.
I was here for Purim.
Look at you gonna get me on both of them.
You gonna get-
One of them. Now, destruction of Nicanor is basically a high holy day or a holy day that they commemorated
That,
for the
yeah.
destruction of the
now,
Israelites.
but I'm listening to the scriptures.
Mhm.
Like destruction of Babylon, that's the United States of America.
Yes.
You saying is Nicanor representing
Oh, America.
like America or something like that?
Yeah,
All of them do, actually.
I mean, you can go and
Yeah.
spiritually look at it and see, like,
Every destruction of every nation. If you go to Babylon, you go to Egypt, you go to Persia, Medes, you go to every last one of them come back
And you
represent.
could say it because the ones that came against us mostly are Edomites.
Mhm.
Nicanor is an Edomite.
yeah.
You know, they always are at the forefront of mischief against us.
Okay.
and followed after the Babylonians and the Egyptians, where they got their ideas of how to control us.
I'm gonna go to one more.
Right there.
Regeneration.
Kevin, no, you ain't got none of
Ecclesiastes 4:16.
No, Matthew 19:28. But we good.
be darting you and the boy all day. Line up the pit. Yeah, you did something. I can feel you thinking, brother. Look up. Yes, you, brother.
This is another part of regeneration to show you that we are regenerated and we have been regenerated to this day. That we have been here before. Read this. Go ahead, 28.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 19, verse 28.
Uh-huh.
And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration,
Which have followed me, right? In the regeneration. Right? The countless generations that have been regenerated. Read on.
when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory. Ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
So us that's trying to get this thing right, well, let's see what we're doing today to show that we're regenerating. What did he say? Read 29.
And every one that have forsaken houses.
That has did what?
That have forsaken houses.
Doing what? Read up.
Oh, or brother.
Or what?
Or brother.
Because guess what? We forsaking our whole families right now, man. Right? We done got away from them. Hey, as much as I love my family, man, look, you ain't trying to keep your laws. Christ say what? Them that's keeping the laws, them my brother, that's my mother, that's my father, right? Read on.
But everyone that forsaken houses, or brother, or sister, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake.
Man, this is exactly what we're doing right now, showing that the regeneration is real, man. This is how you get into it. This is how you get to 28, right? You should be sitting in his glory. You should also sit upon thrones, judging the 12 tribes by forsaking this world. Right? This is how you know that regeneration is real, because this is exactly what we are doing, man. This day, right now. Right? Not knowing our former past time, but knowing that, guess what? We had to have some kind of knowledge of this thing to try to get this thing right. Right? And you that follows me. I mean, the Most High had, because what did he say? He said he wasn't chosen from the what? From the womb. From the womb. Before you were born, I knew. That's right. Right? Yeah. Just to show you regeneration.
And if you go to read also 2 Maccabees chapter 7, you'll see what her children were saying that we come back. When they were telling them.
Oh yeah. That one with what you were just talking about with it, lives.
Oh, Malachi?
John the Baptist. I got it.
I got it.
Want that?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to Matthew 11, chapter 11. We'll start at verse. Matter of fact, we'll start at verse 11.
Real quick. You know, well, I guess we can get after this.
All right. Go ahead. Your question was trying to do?
Well, not really. It was
Yeah, we'll get it after
Go ahead.
As y'all can see, like you talking about it now, this was something that was kind of hard to receive. Christ even spoke about this. Watch it. We just started at verse 11. Chapter 11, verse 11.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 11, verse 11. Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, they have not risen a greater than John the Baptist.
Okay.
Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he.
Come on now.
And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent take it by force.
You understand? Yahushua Christ spoke highly of John the Baptist. He's saying the least that make it to the kingdom. Now check it out. He speaks so highly of John. Now watch this. Go ahead.
Verse 13. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John.
Until John, read.
And if we will receive it.
Notice what Christ said. I want y'all to pay attention. He said, what?
If ye will receive it.
This
is a life.
Come on.
Which was for to come.
Now, why Christ had to come out and say, if you will receive it, everybody's not going to get this.
Right.
And Christ knew that. So, like I said, this is something that, like I was saying, you got to be spiritually developed, man, in the Word of God. You got to continue to fast and pray. A lot of time, our flesh is not going, I can't believe that. But
can't even believe they was here before.
Come on, now.
They won't.
That's why finish it out.
And if ye will receive it, this is a liar, which was for to come.
Read on.
He that hath ears to hear.
He that have understanding, spiritually understanding, right?
Let him hear.
Let him what?
Let him hear.
Let him receive it. That's why as we continue to walk in the Spirit, man, we got to understand, everybody's not going to get it. I don't care how bad, how good you teach, how hard you break down the precept. They not going to get it.
Because we heard that.
The precept whisperer.
Brothers, can you just speak more nicely to them? Please, bro, just speak more kindly to them. I promise you they'll hear it. No, the hell they won't. They won't.
Yeah.
They won't, man. I'm one of the nicest brothers out there. Hey, no. F-U-B. Get them, Maccabees.
Hey, look, Ray. Hey, just for the record, you remember I drop kick you on the second building of the second pyramid?
I don't remember that.
Get that Matthew 17 and 10 right there.
Regenerate. Remember that generation.
Matthew 17 and 10. Just to add to what Captain Lanai said, that's a great precept. Make sure y'all precept that with that. Matthew 17 and 10. Because Christ is going to make it plain right here. Read that out.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 17, verse 10.
I'm going to see if you can receive it, Brother Ray. You got to call him Little Brother Ray, man. Big Brother Ray looking at me, man. No, that's Little Brother Ray.
Little
Read
Ray.
that out.
The book of St. Matthew, chapter 17, verse 10.
Right.
And the disciples asked him, saying, Why then say the scribes that Elias must first come? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall come first and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist.
Of who?
Of John the Baptist.
So he's showing us that Elijah was who? John the Baptist. Elijah is where? In the Old Testament. Brothers and sisters understand that. Elias is just the Greek form of where it's, how it's spelled. But Christ made it plain that John the Baptist is Elijah. Any questions out there? Go ahead,
So like how we was reading in that Matthew 19, no, what is that? Yeah, 28. I was saying like the disciples, you said y'all 12 gonna be with me, the judges. It's not talking about Judas, right? Judas
No.
not in there. So who is the other one?
Who?
Like, I don't know.
Let's get that. What's the precept?
Luke. Matthew.
Hold
on.
Which is good because you got it right.
Who know what a precept is? Where they told, where they cast lots. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I don't know why. I'm glad I was about to give it to him one day.
What the hell? Damn, Captain. Captains don't give now.
Because I'm thinking, if they just think about it, Just think about it.
Because I know he's not, but I just
What was the question? I'm sorry.
What?
You
damn.
true, not dead, bro.
What was the question, man?
Who got switched out?
Oh, Acts.
There you go.
Acts 1 and 26.
Read that, 25.
Remember this happened
After. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. That's why I was like, think about it. Just think about it.
Huh?
You talking about the 2 hours?
Damn, I'm throwing phones and pins.
You brother.
I'm telling you,
Damn, brother.
man, before you come in, grab you a handful of them gray rocks out there.
Read this right quick.
the book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 25, that he may take part of this ministry and apostleship, from which Judas by transgression fell, that he might go to his own place.
Read on out.
And they gave forth their lots, and the lot fell upon Mattathias, and he was numbered with the 11 apostles.
So Mattathias replaced Judas as the
Made him the 12th apostle. Yeah. But like I said, sometimes, man, just think a little bit. This is all you got to do a lot of times. Yeah.
I know Sister Mary Houston was saying, Shalom, Captains, can you explain why we will go into a second wilderness? Why will we go into a second wilderness? What brother know the answer?
So he can prove us.
To prove us. You're going to have to prove us all over again. This is not going to be like when we came up out of Egypt. Well, it is.
It'd be like the
But everybody ain't going to make
the
it
valley
in that
of
sense.
decision.
Who know what a precept is for the second wilderness? Who knows, man? These are precepts that we go over all the time. All the time. What you got, Ezekiel? Yeah. What you got, Ehud? Now say
Acts
something.
7 and 38.
Who?
Acts 7 and 38. The church in the wilderness.
For the second wilderness, not the first wilderness. Second wilderness. Brother got to know this precept. What you got, Brother Fred? What you got back there, Brother Yosef? What you got, huh? Back there in the corner. What you got, man? Good boy.
Hold on.
Brother Glenn, what y'all got? Oh, pray, come on with it then, damn it. Ezekiel, chapter 20 and verse 35. You know, and brothers know the precepts. Don't be scared. These precepts we go over all the time. we expect brothers and sisters. Maybe get these sisters on y'all. You know they ready to pounce like some
Yeah,
lioness.
man. Yeah.
They ready to double dutch up in that thing, man.
In fact, that's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have trivia night.
Remember what happened last
Maybe
time.
women get
Remember what happened last time.
uh-huh.
Remember what happened last time.
I think
Yeah,
the sisters
they
won.
won.
They won.
No.
I think the sisters did win.
Turn around.
Remember.
The men still got stripes on their back. They tore one so bad.
Read that out. Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse. Start up a little more. 33.
33.
Yeah, 33. Yeah.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 20, verse 33. As I live, saith the Lord, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you.
So Christ ain't gonna be playing the game when we go out in the wilderness, brothers and sisters. That's why even us as being leaders, we can't play the games. Like we say, we held to a higher standard. We say we see brothers going off, it's our job to correct them. If we see sisters going off, it's our job to correct them. Read on.
Verse 34, and I will bring you out from the people.
And he will bring us out from the people, meaning what? Out of every kindred's, tongues, and nation. This is not talking about all nations being saved.
They say I'll bring you out from them people.
That's right.
So
Read on.
everybody not going.
Shoot, for real. Read on, right?
And I will bring you in, verse 34, and I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the country wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out.
Because he gonna let us know he's not playing with us. Read on, out.
And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people.
And he will bring us into the wilderness of the people. This is going into what? The second wilderness. Captain Yara did a class over this. Like I say, go back over these things. Read on.
And there will I plead with you face to face.
There will Christ plead with us face to face. So is he going to ask? No, he's going to demand and command. He ain't playing the games, man. So we'll literally be able to see Christ face to face.
He said it's gonna be doing this with a fury. So
that's right.
It ain't gonna be no. Hey, brother.
For real. You coming to Sabbath class this morning? You gonna wake up? You come back at about 9ish? Okay. No, better get your behind up, man. Read on.
Verse 36. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord God.
Read on, Doc.
And I will cause you to pass under the rod.
Pass under the what?
Pass under the rod.
That's going into correction. Read on, Doc.
And I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
Read on, Doc.
And I will purge you out from among you, the rebels.
So we get this all the time, like, dang, most like God gonna kill some more of us? Did we just survive the thermonuclear bombs? Yes. That's what he means he's not playing. It's gonna be another cut. Like how on that basketball team, you had one cut, you had a second cut, sometimes you got a third cut, man. Read on, up.
And them that should transgress against.
So it'll be Israelites out there in the wilderness that's transgressing against the Most High in Christ, man. Thinking that you know more than Christ. Well, Christ, me personally, Christ, I think the fringes is four corners, Christ. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I don't know. Hey, Christ, look at you. Say,
no doubt.
Boy,
you better humble yourself and then, boy.
Hey, Christ, I don't want to keep my forehead bald head, man. You know, I don't want to do this. I don't want to. I don't think that the Feast of Dedication is a law. I'm gonna take this one out, Christ.
And it tells you that because when you're talking about they're gonna be trying to. Well, hold on now. I cast out demons in your name. I done did.
Man, for real.
I done did this. I done did that. I've been on the streets for the last 20 years. They gonna be saying it all. They gonna be, hey, when he say depart from me, that don't mean you just gonna leave and turn around and walk off like that. When he said depart from me, you gone.
That's right.
I'm gonna say this because when you go back to verse 30, matter of fact, can you read 36 again for me? Watch you.
Verse 36 from the top. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt.
Notice how the Most High always brings to your remembrance what he did before, just in case you forgot. Watch it, read on.
So will I plead with you, says the Lord God.
Now watch it, when he tells you, so I will plead with you, this is what I want everybody to understand. Now we read in Colossians, talk about being our pleasers, the freedom of pleasers of men. you're gonna get checked out there when you fall. If you following man, what you gonna do when your elder head get cut off?
Mhm.
What you gonna do with the captain or the deacon or whatever? You know, whoever was in leadership, if they don't like Captain Ben out said, they don't apply with what thus said Christ.
That was I say the captain.
Come on
You
now.
ain't lying, boy. You say up there you believe in that man. He the such and such clap.
Cause I always say this to give y'all a vision and example. They talk about the full moon. They talk about the dark moon. What are we both wrong? Can you take correction? Or you gonna be that brother? Well, hold on, your house, how I see it. You gonna try to say that to him?
But what I got out the scriptures was
For real.
It's gonna be, hey,
How you gonna tell him that? The scriptures is him. If you try to tell him what I get, I'm
Look,
telling you what it is.
If the Most High showed us all His glorious works in Egypt, right? Got us out of the water of the Red Sea, and Negroes still murmuring and complaining.
Yeah.
You know damn well in the second wilderness,
and
Negroes
that's-
will be out there, man. Nah, that ain't how I see it, man. No, for real, I ain't gonna keep the Passover. You the Passover, I ain't gonna worry about keeping it because you the Passover.
Because you the Passover, you with it.
Yeah, you.
But then that's the same thing. That's why he reminded us of Egypt, because he pleaded with us in the wilderness there. But what they do? What he wound up there killing they almost killed all of them right there. I pleaded with y'all. Okay, I ain't playing with y'all neither. Caleb, you good? Caleb like, I wasn't with him. I wasn't with him. So only a few of them who was there, who was left.
That's why you think about it. You gotta be able to take correction now.
Mhm.
That's right. Like you can't take it down. And a lot of times people, you waiting on your house how to correct you.
Say, bro.
All right.
It's gonna be might as well be a stain on that garment.
And this is a precept for that too. Been waiting to bring that thing out. Let's go to Deuteronomy, because we get that a lot of times. Oh, Christ teach me. Christ is my teacher. Oh, really? Okay.
Well, you better not get no questions wrong. When he correct you.
Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 11. So yeah, the answer to your question, Sister Mary Houston, yes. He needs to purge out rebels from among us, sis.
That's why we're going back into the second.
That's right. There's gonna be a second cut.
Think about it. We're not ready for the kingdom. If he come back right now, he still got to purge like
That's right.
saying.
Right.
Exactly right.
Still pried up in this thing. What's a lot of stuff we got to get out of.
That's right.
Man, I was reading, when you're reading this Old Testament, man, you can see why they don't want you going into the Old Testament.
That's right. You can.
They just don't want to tell. It's like they don't want the Apocrypha to be done. They don't want the, see, because when you go into the New Testament, you can switch up stuff. They don't know exactly how they go because you don't understand the Old Testament. Or you don't understand the Apocrypha. But that's why they say, we don't need them doing that part.
Let me get there, read this out. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 11.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 11. For this commandment, which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from you.
So it's not hidden from our people, man. Read on.
Neither is it far off.
And it's not far off, man. A lot of times our people got those Bibles right on the chimney, and YouTube is a fingertip away. Read on.
It is not in heaven.
It is not what?
It is not in heaven.
Christ ain't coming down to teach you, Sister Betty and brother what? Give me a pastor name here. I was about to say Brother Booker. I ain't gonna do that. Don't do me like that. Read on.
Freddie Haynes.
Yeah, Freddie Haynes or something. Read on.
It is not in heaven that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it.
That we may what?
That we may hear it.
Like Christ is coming down. Like Archangel Gabriel is coming down to personally teach you. Hold up, Most High. I gotta take her some beers right quick. Let me go down and teach this brother right quick, man. Personally.
Right.
And then what he's saying, and then they go, well, hold on, I thought you was going to come teach me. It's like, you've been on the earth for the last 40 years. I done gave you teachers, but you ignored them.
That's exactly right.
Like he said, your teacher was right there. Look,
I was going to say,
you were looking at your teacher.
Thine eyes shall see thy teacher. Right. Read on.
So like that we may hear it and do it.
And what?
And do it.
Read on, Doc.
Neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us, and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it.
Read on, Doc.
But the word is very nigh unto thee.
Read that again, Doc.
But the word is very nigh unto thee.
That's why the Most High God got us out there on those corners, man. He probably got an Israelite probably in every family. That's why he said he ain't taking whole families. 1 or 2 out of the family so they can do what? Teach their family who they are according to the Bible. Whether they hear or whether they forbear. Read on.
In thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it.
That thou mayest what?
That thou mayest do it.
That's how close it is. It's that close. It's right there in your heart. Some of it, it's all it is just, if you blow the dust, that's how close it is. It's just that close. But we don't want to hear it. Nah, I'm going to wait till Yahweh shall come down. He going to teach me this thing.
Sister Mitra Younger saying, Captains, can our spirit be so strong that people don't want to be around or be evil against you for no reason? You had it.
You know
Be
it.
evil around you for no reason. Yes, and sometimes a lot of people have strong spirits out there, man.
Yeah, and then like I said, it's a war zone that's going on. Your spirit's fighting against their spirit sometimes. It's like sometimes I'll be knowing, like when you're around people and they just coming at you, you know, just be like, and it's funny because you can smile about it sometimes. That pisses them off more than anything. But it's just a spiritual warfare that's got that going on. That's out there no matter where you go. But sometimes when you keeping the law, statutes, commandment, the Most High make their spirit change sometimes. It'll make their spirit do for you.
And we know, brothers and sisters, some, like we say, the spirit is measured. Everybody don't have the same spirit except for Christ. His spirit was what? Unmeasurable. Give me 2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 10 right quick. Verse 9. To prove the brothers and sisters. Yeah, some brothers and sisters' spirits are higher than others. 2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 9.
Book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 9. And it came to pass, when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, As what shall I do for thee, before I be taken away from thee? And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me.
Read that again out.
Let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me.
So we know that Elijah had a what? Had a strong spirit. So strong that Elisha asked for a double portion of his spirit. And that's some things that brothers and sisters need to pray for. You pray for Sister Judith's spirit. You know, pray that the Most High God give you a double portion of John the Baptist's spirit or Elijah's spirit. Or some of our forefathers' spirits like Samuel, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. For the sisters, you know, Esther. These sisters that were fervent in the spirit, these are the things that brothers and sisters need to be praying for. Because that double portion of the spirit can get you through a lot of tribulations and trials.
When you don't act like the world, yes, they're gonna want to.
Yeah, man.
Like when you go around your parents, I don't want to hear that Bible today, not today. Like, what's going on with it? Or how we follow the scriptures. The Bible said, "Well, overcome evil with good," right?
That's right.
They can't handle that. People can't handle that, man. I'm gonna tell you, that's the best way to combat somebody, man, with a terrible spirit, man. No, bro. If I offended you, brother, I apologize. Sister, if I offended you, I apologize. Spirits can't take that, man. They can't, man. What? This nigga, they cussed me out. I just cussed the nigga out. He say, if I offended you, I apologize. They can't take that. So, yes, people will definitely want to see you despise. People don't want to see you get wise in this truth.
Watch you. I got a precept for that.
Bring it out.
Psalm 37, and we'll start at verse 12.
I like this.
Because like your sister was trying to address, like she was saying, since it's true. As you continue to walk in righteousness, man, it's going to happen. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
David spoke about this. Psalm 37 will start at verse 12. Not only they going to hate on you and go against you, watch what the Bible says.
The book of Psalms, chapter 37, verse 12. The wicked plotted against the just.
Hold up, read that again.
The wicked plotted against the just.
So not only they going to go against you, they going to plot against you. You got to think about it. When someone plot against you, This not nothing they just like, if I got an issue with you, it didn't start when you walked in this room. If I plotted, that means I was thinking about this yesterday. I gotta say something to make her mad. Hey, what I can do to make, I'm gonna move up this, I'm gonna move up. They plot against us. As we continue to walk in the spirit, this is what the Bible said the wicked is going to do. They gonna plan out. Read on.
The wicked plotted against the judge, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth.
Come on, man, they are deep hatred. Read on.
The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming.
But this is what we gotta hold on to. No matter what hardship you're going through, we gotta know the Most High God got it.
Have that trust in Him. Yeah.
Trust in Him. So just precept what Cecil talking about.
Yeah, they gonna come at you. That's just how it is. I mean, their spirit is already against your spirit, so they're gonna their spirit is fighting against yours for sure. But you just gotta stay. Yeah, we got the commandments and the law. That's what make us wiser than them.
Give me Romans chapter 12, verse 20. You did the whole praise.
Well, I just said it.
What's that?
Shoot, give me Proverbs 25 and 21 too.
Yeah, over there. Precept up.
Start at verse 19. Yeah.
Book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves.
Read that again, Doc.
Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves.
Read that one more time.
Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves.
Read on, Doc.
But rather give place unto wrath.
Give place unto wrath. Read on, Doc. And I know it's hard for brothers that struggle with that, for sisters that struggle with that. Like we said, it's just the spirit that's on you. You do what? Pray or fast that spirit off of you. Read on.
For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, said the Lord.
Read on, Doc.
Therefore, if mine enemy hunger.
Therefore, if thine enemy hunger. Is this talking about the other nations? No, it is not, man. This is what. Oh, you know it. That's especially why I went there. Because Christians are trying to pull Matthew 5 and 44. Not understanding that it's what, brothers? Two types of enemies in the Bible. The enemies of the other nations and the enemies of your own people. This is talking about the enemies of your own people, like with Saul and David. David had an opportunity to kill Saul, but he didn't do it because he was what? Keeping the commandments. Read on.
Therefore, if thine enemies hunger, feed him.
Read on.
If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals on fire on his head.
Read on.
Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good.
Every time when it comes to our people, we overcome evil with good, brothers and sisters. Any other questions out there?
Let me say something. That's funny because one thing about us as a people, when it comes to our enemy, we always want to forgive them, and want to hug them, and they just killed somebody in your family. But boy, how often have you seen them do that with us?
Never.
If a black, believe me, you won't get out the penitentiary. Every time you come up for parole, guess what? They going. They be going up that son of a gun with oxygen mask on in a wheelchair. I don't want him out of the honor. They can stay in there. But here we do. Boy, that mother killed 3 people in our family. Can I just give her a hug? And that's what we do, boy. But they tell us, forgive your enemy. But they don't forgive us, though. And we do all the time, man.
Who are the 12 feathers in 2nd Ezra?
He just said, who are they?
The 12, what's they like, generals or emperors or something like that?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm asking you.
Hold on. I got it written down with that mother.
Who are the 12 feathers in 2nd Ezra?
Just give your answer, make a statement.
Who?
The Caesars.
The 12 Caesars of Rome. Brother Glenn, what is the second captivity Israel went in? All praise. All praise. Any more
Hey,
questions?
I'm gonna get another precept. Give me Psalm 31, man. I just
Can't
came
tell.
across. It's a precept for what an eye be cool, man. But yeah, spirits don't want to see you. They don't want to see you shine.
See the 12 feathers is what?
12 seasons. You know what's funny? Because they got that, when I went and looked it up, you know how they try to move that? They try to use that, what his name? The one Brooke got killed by Brutus.
Got killed.
Got Brutus.
You're not talking about Augustus. You said
Yeah.
about Brutus?
Yeah, the one that Brutus and them killed. The one. The first one.
Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar. Him. They try to make it where he's not where he's not a Caesar. But he is. In fact, he's the only one. He was the first because he was actually what they call where he gave himself 10 years of total control. Not a democracy, but a dictatorship. That's what he was at the time. But if you're going back to the 12 feathers, you got to look at him as the first one, because when they start lining up the second ones, they line up then. But if you do it the way they had the first emperor, the 12 feathers won't line up, because remember it tells you how long one of them days was longer than the other one. So that has to line up, but you have to have Julius Caesar as that first one. That's if y'all study that. I'm just letting you know. When you go back and study, you'll start seeing.
So not Augustus. Augustus wasn't the first one.
No, actually, Augustus was the second one. And then when you look, like I said, I want y'all to study. I'm not even gonna give you the answer. But when you start looking at it, it's gonna give you this man had to have had the kingdom for longer than this one did. And they're going through those things. But if you got to put what's name first in order for those things to line up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to let you know.
Andronice Carter says, who
13.
Oh, slap.
Oh, no, what's he saying?
No, go ahead.
I didn't want to get his precept right there. What's the one quick? Because you just see the one that sister said, can you see regeneration in children?
Oh, I had missed that one. Sister Azariah.
See it in children.
Yeah. I just wanted to tell but get that right quick.
We don't know. They don't
I forgot about that. Salakia, Sister Azariah.
We're going to get that right. I just want to get some precept to the spirit, the sister with the spirit.
So I can imagine these black women be calling, that's Elijah. No, that's they ain't gonna give them all the greatest one. No, that's Judas. That one. How about giving them that one? That's why.
13. Now you go straight to it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 31, verse 13. For I have heard the slander of many.
He said, I've heard the slander of many, man. The slander of many people, man. Many Psalms got 31 and 13. I have heard the slander of many. Read.
Fear was on every side.
And how do you combat slander? How can you combat somebody slandering your name? Doing good, because Psalm 22 say what? A good name, a good report is better than rubies and gold. So when you do bring up an accusation on somebody, and they say, nah, not that brother. Nah, not that, so that brother ain't never, you know what I'm saying? But the spirits of people will try to bring slander upon you.
That's why it said, don't let your good be evil spoken of.
That's right. Read on.
While they took counsel together against me.
They do what?
While they took counsel together against me.
Because that's what these spirits do. These evil spirits that don't want to see you shine. They take counsel together. What they try to do?
They devise to take away my life.
They devise to try to take you away, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna go down. I'm talking about friends, family. You better watch them, man. Better watch them, because they may be the very one to despise you for your fall, man. Because you're not dealing with them no more like you used to. Because now you got a whole new family. I'm telling you, I see it every day, man. Man, you don't mess with us no more. You worry about that church more than you do. Hey, well, so be it. What's your problem, right? If you were doing the commandments, I'd be messing with you too. So you're going to see the slander of your name. You're going to see people try to come together and ultimately try to take your life, man.
Right.
But that sister said, can you see, and the brother got a precept, can you see regeneration in the children?
Now he had just spoken earlier. Well, we don't know. Like I said, that would be. Oh, I can imagine.
111. Yeah, go there.
I
That's why I was trying to see what you think.
imagine.
Ecclesiastes 1:11.
People
Hold on.
You said regeneration is the children?
Yeah,
that was that.
That's the question. Yeah. Ecclesiastes 1:11.
Even like how Aknem is going into, like we say, you can see a spirit and be like, that spirit done been here before.
Right.
That brother or sister got an old spirit. But to actually know, like, what the Bible talks about.
And then the thing about it, all of them old spirit.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
mean, even that spirit you got right now, that ain't nothing new. That's old in the mud,
Cause ain't it a
man.
wicked Negro on social media talking about he Christ or something? Like, cause we putting a picture up of this dude. I'm like, boy, Negro got to stop, man.
They got one in Israel now.
Yeah, they try to bring up
And
their
they
own
worshiping
leader.
him and bringing him
That's
out
right.
like, man.
I've read about that.
They come surrounding. I said, this is.
I read about that. They try to make their own
Man,
Christ.
they done made him. They done made him.
Yeah, for real.
That's what I said. They try to act like they brought the camera in. I'm talking about when I tell you this man can go through the crowd, they move like the Red Sea for him. And it ain't nothing but another old steak the Edomites.
I mean, but that's just what Paul said. Well, I dare not put myself in the number. Man, you better stop playing.
Right.
You don't know who you are. I'm David, brother. Just stop it, bro.
That's why I say when
Yeah,
they
your
say,
name David in the world, but Negro, you ain't King David. You ain't David that slew the birds, and now you ain't that David, brother. Stop it.
that's what I be saying. If that was the case, you see him. I can see what the sisters. They ain't gonna never see nothing bad. They gonna always give him these great names. Oh yeah, that's such and such. No, that's Ahab. That one right there, that's Ahab. And the one you had, there's already that's Judas. Give them those names. But, you know, they just gonna see whatever good. You know, they do that anyway with children.
Yeah, go ahead and read that out.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 11. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come.
So now you ain't gonna see that. You ain't gonna see David and that child.
You know what?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you might
that.
think, like your child looked like your grandfather like 2 or 3 generations ago.
Yeah.
They might be trying to refer to that.
You
look
can
just like
understand
your
it, but that's why
grandma.
we brought that out to that point.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go beyond that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what is going on.
Finish it out. Read that again.
Man, he can look like that. Nigga probably don't look nothing like it.
What you saying, brother?
So the regeneration should be like 120 years, right?
Not necessarily, huh? They said
40
most
years
like God
is
gave us
regeneration.
70.
This
Like
ain't
40
He
years.
said he bring back in the what? After the
every
third
generation.
generation.
Every generation.
Third.
This should be
40 years.
120.
I thought it
Not
was
necessarily.
40.
14 years. No, 120 is only is only a life of a man.
Like
That's
30 years,
maximum.
something like that.
But he said every generation. So that third or fourth generation. So like when you have children, then your children have children, then your children have children,
It's like 200
then you might come out again after that.
And think about it, no sense, like, cause think about it, our generation, we got short.
Yeah.
Who preaching 120 then?
Yeah.
On the regular.
Shit, Granny's 35 right now. Shit, Granny's a 35, 40.
You ain't lying, boy. You ain't lying.
Never seen it.
Yeah, boy, if we go another 30,
So
40
if
years,
women
Granny's
having
gonna be
babies?
27.
Huh?
At 15 sometimes.
Yeah, that's
Right,
right.
be 45.
Mhm.
Exactly.
35.
So that's what we're saying. So you really can't put a number on it until indefinitely.
That's why I just said after the generation,
Right.
third or fourth generation, is not really a number, not 120. There's nowhere in there. It's just saying the third generation. I mean, like she was just explaining, hey, what if you can have a child 15, well now,
10, 12.
no doubt. And they don't learn their lesson, the next one could have the same thing. In 30 years, you got three generations.
Go ahead, I'll finish the scripture out.
Read that again.
There is no Ecclesiastes 1 and 11. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come.
That are to come, right? Read on.
With those that shall come after.
With those, so that's the greatest precept I could have gave. So with those things that come after, so you won't see regeneration. And the Bible tells us we don't have no remembrance of that former person, right? That's what we were. And we said like I brought out, we have deja vu, right? But that doesn't. You don't really have the remembrance of. Oh, that was that, or this is exactly what that was.
And sometimes you see some things in visions in the dreams sometimes, but I mean, I wouldn't take it so serious because then y'all think every one of them. Yeah, you see, I was. No, but you'll see things that you haven't seen before. You be like, dang, what is that? Stuff like that, like you said, deja vu. Stuff that just kind of remembers. You're like, where did I see that at? And that's about it. But you ain't gonna know who you was or see who you was or nothing like that. That's what the Bible says.
And Dries Carter said, who are the sun people and ice people supposed to be? Are those the people that were already here with Adam and Eve and who is inky and inly supposed to be. So we don't know
about you.
none of that stuff. Sis. I don't know what books you read, sis, but we don't
turn that movie off.
Yeah, we don't know about sun people and ice people, sis. We don't know about that, sis.
Man,
You try to clarify, but
She don't watch one of them scientists with them white people think they get all this other people. They got them
I
underground.
don't know who Inky and Ellie is.
That's the nice man they found 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That's what she talking about.
If she clarified, we kind of clear it up.
For real. Sister Donna White, can you break down discernment of spirits?
That's a class.
Yeah. That's a good one because
you can go to 1 Corinthians, though, just show you the spirit of discernment.
Right.
And
Get Sirach chapter 19, verse 29 right quick. Because we know, brothers and sisters, some people do and can discern spirits real good. You know, you can see the type of spirit that brothers have on them, that sisters have on them, coming from a mile away.
But the thing about it is, where do you learn spirits at? By reading this Bible,
Right.
back and forth, and looking at these people in there. And I promise you see the spirit. When you see and notice the same familiar spirit as somebody in this Bible, it's almost, you can almost tell you from what they did in this Bible, you can tell them what they finna say and what they about to do. All because you be like, hey, that's the same spirit. Like when I see the Ahab spirit, we call him Sims today. But you still see that spirit, you be like, oh. Now you know how he's finna operate, how he's finna move, how he's finna come at you. You know that because he's done the same way before. That spirit, that's what I tell people. When you got discernment of spirit, if you're not in the Bible learning spirits, you don't got discernment of spirits.
Right. What you got real quick? You hear something pertaining to this or another question?
Well, now that question that Sister Bro asking about who Inky is, it's the Sumerian god of wisdom, freshwater intelligence, mischief, healing, creation, fertility, and art. So
The god of who? Sumerian?
Yeah.
A Mesopotamian god?
Sure,
I thought she
pretty
was trying to
good.
say the Anunnaki. I know.
That's who it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, Inky is the god of water.
What is she asking about it anyway?
She was just asking, like, who are they? Were they during the time of Adam? No, Adam them came way before.
Some non-working gods. Let's put it that way.
That's
Some gods without no batteries.
That's what I thought she was. That was the Anunnaki.
Read that Sirach 19.
Don't worry.
Read that Sirach 19.
The book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 29. A man might be known by his look, and the one that hath understanding by his countenance.
By his who?
By his countenance.
So a lot of times the discerning of spirits can be shown with people how they look. Like we know brothers and sisters that deal in the homosexual lives by how they look, like their mannerisms. You can tell those things, the way that they talk, the way that they carry themselves. We don't.
By his countenance, when thou meetest him. A man's attire.
A man's what?
A man's attire.
The clothing that men and women wear. You can tell what type of spirits that they have on them a lot, man. We don't.
And not just homosexuality, but like a lot of times we can always recognize a pimp. You know, somebody that's hoeing out the women. We can also recognize some of them. I can recognize the hustler.
Yep.
From their appearance. Go ahead.
Read on.
A man's attire. An excessive laughter.
Excessive laughter is how he speaks. Read on.
And gait.
And gait. What is your gait? The way you walk. You can tell. Read on.
Show what he is.
So yeah, that goes into discerning the spirits, your appearance, all those things.
And spiritual discernment is very key.
That's right.
Because spiritual discernment will have you not going into situations that you are not going to, or dealing with people that you are not dealing with, right? So that's what the spiritual discernment is. So it's very crucial that we do gain spiritual discernment. Let's go to 1 Corinthians right quick.
And that's why I tell you all the time, read the Bible back and forth. Understand and start studying everybody you come across in the Bible. Whether it be a good one or a bad one. That's getting the spirit that you know that you'll recognize later on. Oh my goodness, that's such and such. You know, you start seeing that same spirit. And I notice the characteristics will follow. The same characteristics that person has, they will follow in that.
Man, let's go down, man. I don't want to be long. We about to wrap this, man. I know I'm trying to go wrap up.
Yeah, don't ask no more questions.
Start at 10.
Y'all don't listen to Mac. This brother say any damn thing. This brother is just unfit.
Go, man.
Throw a pin at you right next to me, man.
Yeah.
Book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 12. verse-
Now, 1 Corinthians 2 and 10. Okay, if I said 12, I'll probably say 12.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 10. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
So revealing, that's what spiritual discernment is going to us, being revealed or shown certain people, their attitudes, their personas, their spirits that they have on them, right? It said God revealed us by his Spirit. Read on.
For the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of God.
And this is what spiritual discernment is so crucial about, because it discerns all things. It searches all things out. Your spiritual discernment will have you in this Bible understanding more or less, right? And that starts with keeping the commandments. Read.
For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the spirit of man which is in him? Even so the things of God knoweth no man, but the Spirit of God.
But the Spirit of God knoweth no man but the Spirit of God. That's why the Spirit is so crucial. Read on.
Verse 12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit of which is of God, that we might know the things that are freely given to us.
And that's
God.
what it is. Things that are freely given to us, we know. Not the spirit of, not the worldly spirit, but the Spirit of the Most High God. Right? Read on.
Verse 13. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teaches, but which the Holy Ghost teaches. Comparing spiritual things with spiritual.
That's crucial.
From this Bible.
Comparing spiritual things of the world versus spiritual things of the world, of the Bible. That's what spiritual discernment is. Spiritual things of the world compared to spiritual things of the Bible. Some people can automatically see it when you say it. Yeah, man, we've been on the bottom of the earth. I mean, we might be the great. I mean, all these nations call us niggas. They might see that. They might have a spiritual discernment to understand that, but some people don't see it because their spiritual discernment is not from up above. It's from the world. Read on.
Verse 14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God.
So, you don't want to be that natural man. You don't want to be that natural woman, man. Right? Because the Israelites, we're not natural, man. We something special. We great. We what they call us peculiar, man. We're not natural. So you don't want to be that natural man, because that natural man and woman don't perceive the things of the Spirit. Read on.
For they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them.
Because they are what?
Because they are spiritually discerned.
So spiritual discernment is crucial, since you got to know this. You want to be able to get your spiritual discernment up. A lot of people don't understand things because they are spiritually discerned.
And they say from the Holy Spirit, meaning this word, that's how you start learning and getting discernment of these spirits, man.
I got one little point I want to add to this. If I can. We talked about it. Let's go to 1 Samuel 2 and 3. As we continue to build through the Spirit, we got to understand we got to move like the Most High. We have to pretty much embrace His will. Now the thing about it, I think Cal just brought out the concept of discerning the spirit of a man gonna be known by his look. Like for example, a sister say she in the truth, she keep the commandment that she wearing pants. You already know by what her looks. No, she ain't abiding the will of God because she wearing pants, right? So the same format goes into the biggest thing about what the Most High God talk about. Read this right quick.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 3. Talk no more so exceeding proud.
Okay.
Let not arrogance come out of your mouth.
Because a lot of time, having a discerning spirit, a smooth talker gonna talk smooth things. They gonna make stuff. You listen long enough and you're not in the right spirit, you can get lost in the sauce. Right. You start that like that. Yeah, that do make sense. Why God do this and then have them go into captivity? You'll start thinking like that. But watch it, read on.
For the Lord is a God of knowledge.
This is what we have to understand, having that discernment of spirit. We got to deal with the Lord is a God of knowledge. Where all knowledge come from? Where all wisdom come from? So we got to be dealing with this Bible. For the Lord is a God of knowledge. Now watch this. Read.
And by Him.
By who?
And by Him.
Read.
Actions are weighed.
You can't say you a lion and you moving like a snake. The Most High God, and this goes back into discerning spirit. You got to pay attention to their actions. People learn more from what you do than what you say. I can talk a good guy. I can give you 89 precepts. But am I walking in the precepts that I gave?
That's right.
Notice when they were dealing with one more. Give me Malachi 4 and 4 and 5 right quick. Dealing with Elijah. I want you to understand this. I know this goes to the. Can you recognize a familiar spirit in a child? Well, that's a question about it. The thing about it, you can look at a child. Child can have similarity, but what made Christ say this right here? Well, we're gonna read this right quick. Malachi 4 and 5. Watch it.
The book of Malachi, chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet.
Come on.
Before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Now, notice what Christ was telling the disciples. If you can receive this, Elijah already came. It was the format of what? John the Baptist was moving like Elijah. He was sitting, he was crying in the wilderness, right?
Yeah.
So the thing about it, you can't go off looks. You got to go on their action.
Yeah.
Because what Elijah was doing, read verse 6.
Verse 6. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children.
What was John the Baptist doing?
Yeah.
So it was the actions that, like I said, not appearance. Because you keep it out, he had friends and all that, right? But it was his actions that was making them understand, hey, if you can receive this, Elijah already came. Because John the Baptist was doing the same thing that Elijah was doing. So you can finish it out.
And his appearance and his action was showing him.
It was lining up. So they go to their discernment of spirit on what they saying and what they doing. They gotta line up. Finish it out.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their father.
Come on.
Lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
Come on, man. John the Baptist was moving in the spirit of Elijah.
And that's another thing too. If they children, you're not gonna know the adult spirit in them until they become a man and start going up anyway. So don't be trying to look at no child and be like, he's such. Because you're gonna be deceived. When that little old child get up and knock you across the head, you're gonna be done changing spirits on him then. Yeah, I ain't with David. That ain't no David right there. Now you're gonna be somebody else. Now you're gonna be looking for a bad name in the Bible to call him in. Yeah, that's that one. So don't look at him as a child. Wait till he become a man. Teach him how to be a man. And then that good spirit can come out of him.
I know Brother David was asking about Jeremiah chapter 38, verse 6. Why did Israel put Jeremiah in a pit? Do any brother know? Why did they put Jeremiah in a pit? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 38, verse 2. Say it again. Speak up, Pop.
If you're bringing out them properties, they ain't probably want to hear it.
That's right. That's the whole point. Read verse 2.
Who else that happened to?
Yep. But many times what the prophets wouldn't speak, just like how they do us today, they don't want to hear what we teaching. Read this out.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 38, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, he that remaineth in this city shall die by the sword.
So Jeremiah was sent to prophesy unto the leaders of Israel about the what? Coming Babylonian army. And they didn't want to believe it. They didn't want to hear it. Read on.
Shall die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. But he that goeth forth to the Chaldeans.
So if you give yourselves over humbly, you're going to live. Like turn yourself in, be their humble servants. Because, hey, the Most High God already pronounced the judgment. We just got to go through it. Just like with us in this captivity. We can't fight against this captivity, man. Right. It makes it only worse, man. It's like a brother got you in the headlock. Mm-hmm. Hey, brother, stop squirming. I'll let you go. And you steady fighting, clutching the grip. Read on.
Shall live, for he shall have his life for a prey and shall live.
Read on, Doc.
Verse 3. Thus saith the Lord, this city shall surely be given into the hand of the king of Babylon's army, which shall take.
Because our people thought that we could fight against them and take the city and keep it from being overtaken. Read on.
Therefore the princes said unto the king, we beseech thee, let this man be put to death.
Because they didn't like what he was prophesying, man. Like many other prophets, man. Like, man, it's just one account I got to give, man. That thing is funny where they slapped him. Read on up.
For thus he weakeneth the hands of the men of war that remain in this city, and the hands of all the people, and speaking such words unto them. For this man seeketh not the welfare of this people, but the hurt.
So they thought he was seeking the hurt of our people, but he was only prophesying the things that the Most High God commanded him.
You talking about the lock of the land?
Yeah.
I read that yesterday.
That thing funny. I ain't gonna even lie. Thing funny as hell because, like you said, even when he came to him, he was saying, Man, I don't want to hear this prophet because he never prophesied nothing good about me, man.
Oh yeah.
He never prophesied nothing good about me, man. Hey, we commanded to say, "Thus said the Lord," man.
That was funny. He was being wicked, but he ain't like, I can't use that prophet. He keep telling
Y'all know
me
a prophet, man? Yeah, I know one, but I don't like that nigga. I don't like that, man. I don't like that nigga. I know one, but I don't like that.
I don't want to hear nothing he got to say, boy. You'll never tell me nothing
Sister
good.
Donna White, can a woman blow the shofar? We don't see his sisters blowing the shofar in there. Yeah, sister
said, "Do God
with the job."
Yeah, do God? What's his name? Do God understand when you have to work on the Sabbath?
Yeah, we in captivity.
We're in captivity. But I'm gonna tell you, you give your life over more than him. He go see 40.
And I've seen that happen too, man. Where people that's been working on the Sabbath and they still was diligent. They still come to class. They was praying about it, and the Most High came. They told them, "Hey, you don't have to work Saturdays no more. Just work these days," and that happened. But I mean, so don't be using it as an excuse. I mean, because I know our people, boy. I didn't go to work because.
Oh no, I didn't come to class because
They go the opposite way. They ain't the bills ain't paid, but they ain't going to work because I didn't want to. What's the name? I quit that job because it was getting in the way of this. But no, Most High told you first, you need to take care of your family.
That's right.
Be worse than infidel if you ain't taking care of that first. So that's the first and foremost, because that's what he told us to do. But then we supposed to be diligent, being in this truth, the things we can and cannot do sometimes. But Most High sometimes put that on us to see if we don't go to work, but at the same time seek Him, and so He can change the situation. Or we're gonna have faith in the Most High.
Any brothers and sisters got any other questions out there? Any other questions? Go ahead, Doc.
Can we go through the lineage of the Amorite real quick?
Yeah, go through that right quick.
But who?
The Amorites.
I know it started,
A lot of people think that the Amorite, I know they get it mixed up. We heard a brother think, who was that said that? The brother KJV. He was me and Jerbob was on the phone with him. He was thinking that the Amorites were the Ammonites. But yeah, the Amorites. Genesis. Yeah. Genesis chapter 10 and verse. Yeah. You know how I do, man. I told her, hey, don't be casting your pearls to swine.
Yeah, the thing about it is, speak quickly.
Yeah, to a degree. Genesis chapter 10 and start at verse 6.
The book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan.
So these are what? Hamites, African nations. You have Cush, which is Ethiopia, Mizraim is Egypt, Put is Libya, and Canaan is Canaan. Read on.
And the sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah,
Septa,
Ramah, and
Septacha.
And the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan.
Jump down to verse 15. 14.
Verse 14. And Pathrusim, and Casaluhim, out of whom came Philistines, and Captorim.
So we know that the Philistines derived from Pathrusim. Read on.
And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn.
So we hear about Tyre and Zidon. Zidon was the firstborn of Canaan. Read on.
And Het, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite.
And the Jebusites and the Amorites. So they come from who? Brother Ezra.
Oh, they come from Canaan?
Canaan.
Hamites.
What you thinking? Go ahead.
You saying modern day?
Yeah,
Hamites.
modern day.
Yeah, it doesn't give them a what I said. Africa. It don't give a location like how it does with like with the Egyptians. We know the Egyptians was pushed south. So we know the people that dwell in that is the Sudanese, Watutsis, and so forth. But they would be parts of those tribes as well. Because we know that they were men of stature. Africans get very tall. But to know it exactly, no.
Probably like some Anubos, where he comes from. I told you when you even look at African and the people like that, man, it's like the giraffes in certain places because their necks are long, the food is in the trees.
And I forgot, Het is, y'all can write that. Het is going into what nation, brothers? Y'all know? Tyre. Y'all can put that down. Okay, that's good.
It's like first one and a half.
15.
And then what he thought the Amorites was.
Brother KJB thought the Ammonites were the Amorites. He was saying it wrong.
Japanese and the Africans.
Any other questions out there? We close out.
You said Mizraim. What?
Mizraim is
Mizraim.
Cush is Ethiopia. Mizraim is Egypt. Put is Libya. And Canaan is Canaan.
And Put is actually where they got the word.
Libya.
Yeah.
Like Libya up in by Morocco, which is the Moor name comes from.
What's that?
The Moor.
Morocco, Libya.
Morocco.
Put.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we get out? Don't be ashamed to ask questions, brothers and sisters. What you got? What we just read, Genesis chapter 10, First Chronicles chapter 1. First Chronicles is a good book to go over many. We want to read that book, Romans and Baptist. Any other questions?
Let me do real quick. This one more. Hopefully, I can get up time at this point. The version very real quick.
Let's go to it real quick. What do we always want to start with when we go to the breakdown? You can literally go to Luke book. Like you said, we go to Matthew's, just giving a genealogy.
That's a whole class on that he just did. So, I see that
just
right
real quick.
I got it.
So you can go, like how brothers and sisters, man, just read Matthew chapter 1, verse 1 right quick.
Book of St. Matthew, chapter 1, verse 1. The book of the generations of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham.
And with that, we say shalom. That's really what you can start with. But on a serious note, it's just literally going through, you know we're going to go there. It's telling you the genealogy. So like we said, in order to have a genealogy, you have to have a father. And I know this is shout out to our brothers out there. For brothers thinking Ms. Mamzers, you know, that you have to come from both men and women. Have to be Israelites. That's not in the Bible. Brother know what I'm talking about if you watch. But that's why it keeps giving us the man's lineage. It's literally going through that from time to time. Jump down to verse... you know what I want.
Verse 16. And Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus.
So they'll forget everything that you just read from 1 through 15 and try to make something out of verse 16. It's just showing you that he was married to Mary and they had Christ. That's all that it's saying. Jump down to verse 18.
Verse 18. Now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise, when as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together.
Before they came together, and before they did what?
What they came together with?
Consummate.
Coitus. Say it again,
Before they had coitus.
What the hell is that?
Sex. But they laid together.
Read that again.
Now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise, when as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together.
Before they had the wedding ceremony. Because they had already had sex, because it's showing you, read this.
If they ain't had sex, then
that's right. She ain't gonna be found with child.
We wrong. That's right.
Read it again.
Now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise.
Was on this wise. Read on.
When as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph.
She was promised to Joseph. Read on.
Before they came together.
Before they had the wedding ceremony. They did it out of order. You know, hey, Mary probably was looking good and Joseph couldn't hold back, man. He had to get that thing. But like how the scripture said in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 13, you're commanded to do what? Make her your wife. If you do it out of order, that's why I love how the law, Most High God set that law up. If you do it out of order, you still commanded to make her your what? Your wife.
Good.
They don't just give you a license just to keep sleeping around and not just go through the whole course. No. Go through the whole course and make her your wife. Read on.
She was found with the child of the Holy Ghost.
Read on.
Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man, and not willing to make her a public example.
Because when they didn't have the wedding ceremony, the people thought that what? She wouldn't have been a what? A virgin. This is why that was very important. That's right. And it's two types of what? It's two types of virgins. What's the first one?
Young age.
Young married woman.
A woman of young marriageable age and a woman that hadn't had sex. This is what this is talking about. She was a woman of young marriageable age. This is what brothers and sisters have to research these things. It's not just one meaning to this. Read on.
Was minded to put her away privately.
He was minded to put her away privately because what? She could have been killed. But what did the angel say? Read on.
But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not. Take unto thee Mary thy wife.
Thy who?
Thy wife.
Thy who?
Thy wife.
And this next part is a kicker. Read on.
For that which is conceived in her.
Hold up. How do you conceive a child? Sex. Boy, if you say that one more day, that's a word. Yes, you can say the word. We're grown-ups in here. Children, they learning some damn way. Like we said, conceive. How do you conceive? Say it again. I want to say it one more time. I know, I'm about to throw kids at both damn brother Israel. Conceive, that's how you make babies. Give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7.
Verse 5.
I mean, like we said, if they just literally read through that, now we understand if they don't have an extensive history about marriage, about Israelites, they won't understand verse 18. They just won't. You have to understand that. You find that word in the book of Tobit, giving you the order of courting, brothers and sisters. Yeah, get to the point out.
Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 5. For there is no king that had any other beginning of birth. For all men have one entrance unto life, and the like going out.
So you see, hey, Christ was a king. You only have one way of birth, conception through what? Through sex. Give me Matthew chapter 2 real quick. I mean Luke chapter 2.
So it wasn't the Holy Ghost that conceived.
No.
Come on, say that.
Oh yeah. Stop, man.
Now, because that's where you can give a what? 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Like, and that will make the Most High an adulteress. So the Most High God out here popping sisters. Come on, man. Hey, let me get that, man. I made her just right for me, boy. Curry, you see them hips on her? That's I get that. No, man. The Most High God, no. Man. Luke chapter. No, I want 1 in verse 45. So like it, brothers and sisters. Because like we said, remember when you were breaking this down, we went the fast way and the simple way. But when you're breaking this down extensively, we start with the book of Luke on how Gabriel came to give her a vision and to give her a prophecy of things to come. Read this, Art.
The book of St. Luke, chapter 1, verse 45. And blesses she that believe, for there shall be a performance of those things which were told her from the Lord.
So they take this as this had happened, but it's verse 45 is clearly showing you that he was given a prophecy. Jump up to verse 35.
Verse 35. And the angel answered and said unto her, the Holy Ghost shall come upon thee, and the power of the higher shall overshadow.
So what is the Holy Ghost?
Acts
7 and 51 through 53. Going into the laws of the Most High God. The Most High God literally planted Christ with the laws. And that's where you can go to what Isaiah chapter 11. Christ was filled with wisdom from his birth. That's all that the Holy Ghost is going into. Filled with the law, statutes, and commandments, and wisdom. That's it. Read on. Not that it's a little sperm going into get freaky with Mary, man. I mean, come on, man. Read that again. Read 35 again.
And the angel answered and said unto her, the Holy Ghost shall come upon thee.
So now you got ghosts out here popping women, man. Come on, man. It makes no sense. Read on.
And the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also that holy thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of God.
And that's just all it's going into. He was filled with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. Just in a quick
key word in verse 45.
Perform. That's right, man.
Perform. When you perform something, you have to act on it. It's an act, right? not just the old pop up baby. It's a performance of the way that you make baby.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
What about you get married once and get divorced and you marry another?
Except for fornication. Now you have to give us the terms. Like what caused the
talking about in like before the truth, after the truth, in the truth,
that
or
too.
what, like what?
You have to give us details.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, like say for instance, if you're learning the truth and according to the Bible, and you're trying to do the things according to the scripture, what it say to do, and your wife doesn't want to go that way with you, to the point of where to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, it's like you're wasting your time or you're being stagnant in the truth.
Yeah.
And you're not going anywhere. And you feel like you're vexing your spirit. Your spirit is being vexed.
Yeah.
And it's like to the point where you want to say, man, you know what? I ain't nothing I could do. I just give up.
No, you weren't supposed to divorce her first.
That's right. Now you can separate. That's what separation is for. So y'all can try to work out and hopefully reconcile and come back together. But you can't divorce. Give me Matthew 19:5.
Okay, now what if you didn't know at that time? You know what I mean?
That's what I just said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Stipulation on that.
That's right. That's where Romans chapter 8 verse 1 comes into play. There is
no
no
condemnation.
That's right.
Which means cancel right now. Not the question. We need cancel.
Read this the book of St. Matthew, chapter 19, verse 5. And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife.
Jump up. Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female?
Jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7, they say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? He saith unto them, Moses, because of hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning, it was not so.
So Christ is giving us the understanding there was no such thing as divorce. Read on.
Verse 9, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication.
Except it be for what?
Except it be for fornication.
And the Most High God, Christ is clear on that. Except for fornication, you cannot divorce your wife. Read on.
And shall marry another. Committed adultery.
Committed what?
Committed adultery.
So that's what he's showing you. If you do that out of order, you're committing adultery. You know, so it's no grounds for divorce except for what, brothers? Fornication or adultery. You know, y'all can separate. That's what Paul expounds on in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. 14. You know, but you can't put away. What you got? It's the same thing. What you mean? It's the same thing. Because I know it's taught out there that men can't commit adultery. That's a damn lie. What the hell? Men can commit adultery, man. Women commit adultery, men can too, man.
Adultery, according to the Bible, is being married.
And
That's
James
fornication,
4:4,
the other thing.
Adultery is adultery.
James 4:4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses. Both sides.
That's with a married person. That's what that is.
Men and women, adulterers and adulteresses.
Any other questions before we get out? Hey, y'all know we can go all day. I see brothers and sisters looking. We'll be reading like captains and leaders do, boy. We going this thing all day, man. Any other questions before we get up out here?
Yeah, I need to go. What you just said on that.
Go ahead.
You said on that. Okay, so if you did get divorced
before the truth, right?
Before the truth, right? And it came to the point where you do marry a woman, but she's never been married to a man. So is that still adultery?
I mean, now did y'all legally get divorced?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's over with. Y'all divorced, so you free to marry.
You Romans 8:1 right now.
That's right. You got something, Captain Nah, go ahead.
I was about to James. Go to James 4:17, and it kind of explains it. This before the truth, right? Yeah. So check it out. When you think about it, it's before the truth. You didn't have the understanding. Bring it up. The book of James, chapter 4, verse 17. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good.
Now, know this before the truth. To him that knows to do good, you knew the laws and everything, read.
And doeth it not.
And you then choose to do what you want to do, read.
To him it is sin.
So that's how that sin gonna fall on you. You didn't have that knowledge at the time that was grace and mercy coming to play. That's it.
Yeah, we don't believe in that, Sister Odetta. You know, that's what we
I
said.
don't believe me and Canaan.
We don't believe in that, sis. Like we said, that's why it's different camps. Different camps teach different things. But hey, we see that clear. Adulterers and adulteress. So men can commit adultery and women can commit adultery. That's clear on the law. That's just clear. Any other questions before we get out? Like we always tell brothers and sisters, we always tell them to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And we say, reach out to brothers. Like and share the videos. If you have more questions, reach out to the captains. Reach out to brothers. We'd love to hear your feedback. Help us push this truth to the four corners of the earth. Pray that brothers and sisters stay diligent in this walk. You know, this is serious and it's getting to the end times.
And if y'all are reading and you come across things where you don't have the understanding, you want to get the understanding, reach out to the captain, man. We can do a class. Man.
No doubt, man. Cause
y'all give us an opportunity to give us some understanding to do more classes.
And I know y'all not getting everything. You can't tell me you are. This stuff I done read before 1,000 times. I gotta go through that, man, before I even get it.
Like you said, we going through it, right?
So when you saying I study all the time, you never have no questions. What kind of study you doing? Yeah, I got questions. I might have to call one of the brothers. Hey, man, me and everybody talk about it all the time. Those things that you think about. So don't tell me you read and study and you ain't never got no questions.
Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 11. We have some chapter 9.
For my fight.
Deuteronomy. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 11. For this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off.
So these commandments, they are not hidden from us, brothers and sisters, man. They're right here in the Bible. That Bible that our people do not read, that's on those chimneys collecting dust. We don't.
It is not in heaven, that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us?
So Christ is not coming down to teach you personally. Because a lot of people use that as an excuse not to come into the truth. Well, I need Christ to teach me. Well, that ain't what Christ told you to do. He's telling you that it will be teachers. Acts chapter 8, verse 30, and more precepts. Read on up.
That thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven, and bring it unto us.
And do what?
And bring it unto us.
Read on up.
That we may hear it and do it.
Read on.
Neither is it beyond the sea, that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us, and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it.
Read on.
But the word is very nigh unto thee.
Read that again, up.
But the word is very nigh unto thee.
And the Most High God is letting us know the word is very nigh unto thee. That's why he has the brothers out there on the corners. That's why he have us flooding YouTube. That's why he have all these different avenues so brothers can't have an excuse in those last days. I didn't know, Lord. Read on.
In thy mouth.
In thy what?
In thy mouth.
Read on, up.
And in thine heart, that thou mayest do it.
That thou mayest what?
That thou mayest do it.
And with that, we give all honor and praises to the Most High and to his Son, Yahweh Shah. Happy Sabbath. Shalom.
Shalom. For your body.